What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 3A. 51 Arc Proverbs. Golden Lion. Advertise here. My Emperor, this ship is no longer worthy of our grade. Air Marshal Enel, who was wearing armor, looked at the pirate ship with disgust. It is neither luxurious nor exquisite, just ordinary and a bit old. It is just a low-end medium-sized boat. The emperor and the civil and military officials of the Manchu dynasty were on this. It's a bit too mixed. What did you say? Do you have a problem with my ship? The ace next to him exploded at the drop of a hat. Because he had just started the second gear, armament hockey was seriously overdrawn. He was weak at this time, but he still argued angrily. This pirate ship comes from their original Spade pirates, and is the result of Nka's first free prostitution at sea. It's shameful for Ace to have someone dislike his ship so much. Usopp can protect his melee number. He, Ace, can definitely protect his ship. I have a ship that can fly. Enel picked his ears with disdain on his face. Where is it? Ace's eyes instantly lit up when he heard about the flying ship. 1 second he was still determined to defend his ship to the death. If you want to live and die with the boat, you will immediately forget about the boat in the next second. That's outrageous. Everyone. Ace, your face changes too quickly. Flying ship. Jinbei scratched his head. His simple knowledge could not understand what kind of ship could fly. It's understandable if you're diving, it's like a whale, but if you're flying, it's obviously unreasonable. Could it be the shape of a big bird? Can you flap your wings? Is it the golden lion kind? Eagle Eye instantly had a picture in his mind. The golden lion was one of the 3 legendary pirates back then, along with Roger Golden Lion. The power develops so fast, isn't it because of its unparalleled mobility? Let's imagine. You slept soundly at night. The golden lion flew over and bombed 2 islands. Fortunately, you were not beaten to death. After crawling out of bed, you found that the other party had run away. Who can I ask to explain this? There is no solution. Or secretly touch the opponent's ship, use the lion fruit ability to lift the opponent tens of thousands of meters into the air, and throw it down. Golden Lion has really done this kind of immoral thing. It's really time to change ships. Lao Sha nodded in agreement. Which of them is not a big shot who has seen the world, and they are stuck in this small boat, feeling aggrieved? Then let's change ships. And Ka also started to get excited. Arc Proverbs. The legendary treasure ship. His grandma's car can drive to the moon. It's so outrageous that his mother opened the door for him, it's so outrageous. And Hawkeye's words also reminded him. Golden Lion is still up there. If they have Arc's Proverbs, they can wander around East Blue and start a carpet search through the humanoid radar Enel. We can definitely find this old man out. This kind of living legendary combat power cannot be wasted when you encounter it. Okay, everyone, follow me. Enel stood on the bow of the boat, opened his hands, and smiled boldly at Sky Island. Ha 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 ha. Fools of Sky Island. Land has a place for land. Everyone has a place to go. Gods also have their own places to go. Now I will follow my emperor to fight and establish a supreme dynasty. Goodbye. No, never again. Enel still doesn't like the super low-end combat power of Sky Island residents. The god team and the Sandians barely caught his eye. If not to give Nka a good impression, Enel even planned to wipe out this place and kill everyone, leaving no one alive. Everyone is ready, let's set sail. Navigator Deus and helmsman Jinbei are doing their best. The name of the mountain boat god in Chu is flying. Everyone can't wait to get a new boat. Then, the half-built ship poured a bucket of cold water on everyone. Is this the spaceship you're talking about? Semi-finished product. Ace stared at Enel with an evil expression. The flames rise in his hands, and the Mara Mara fruit ability is on standby. If you don't give a reasonable explanation, I'll chop you. Hawkeye pulled out the black knife and said sadly. This was the first time he had such a strong desire to chop someone down. Want to be stabbed through the heart. Liar kid. The scorpion poison needle in Lao Sha's hand renders the jet black armament hockey, exuding a creepy feeling of heart palpitations. Lao Sha, who was already full of gangster aura, now showed more of the Underworld brothers' demeanor, leaving no doubt that he would kill Enel and dump his body. Here, let me explain. Enel, surrounded by everyone, was sweating profusely. Damn it, Arc Proverbs hasn't been built yet. How come you forgot this? He will be torn apart by these animals. Everyone should speak well if you have something to say, and speak well if you have something to say. The good old Jinbei accompanies the smiling face to start the fight. But how can everyone be persuaded to do so in their current state? The more you hope, the harder you fall. Everyone who had high expectations for the spaceship was very angry after being tricked by Enel. Enel, the construction of Arc Proverbs should be more than half completed. If we recruit the entire Sky Island people, how long will it take to complete the construction? And Ka is not surprised by this result. The current timeline is 3 years before Luffy went to sea and the plot began. The construction of Arc Proverbs was certainly not complete. Otherwise Enel would have flown to the moon long ago. Don't worry, my emperor. Half a month. If no matter what the cost, half a month is enough. Enel, who was rescued by Nka's words, grabbed this life-saving straw and quickly defended. Only then did everyone give up. They can afford to wait half a month. After all, this is about the time it takes for the permanent pointer to recharge. Give Laosha and Jinbei the drawings of the ark's proverbs, and leave the task of building the ship to them. Enel, look to the east. There is the legendary pirate in Qinghai, Golden Lion Shiki. If you find a large number of Sky Island groups, that's right. Don't act without permission. We will go there together when the Ark of Proverbs is finished. Now that it has been decided to contact Golden Lion, Nka first sent Enel to explore the way and take the lead. In the current state of the Golden Lion. Against Enel, enough. I'm sure I'll be killed by Enel alone. As commanded. Enel naturally had no objection. But his heart is not at peace, the legendary pirate. Golden Lion, who is this guy that my emperor can take so seriously? Golden Lion. Hawkeye Mahawk's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Before him, the previous greatest swordsman in the world was Golden Lion. 52 Contact and confrontation with Golden Lion. Advertise here. I didn't expect there to be so much precious land in the east. Is this the infinite land? Enel was pleasantly surprised as if he had discovered a treasure. What is the most precious thing about Sky Island? Isn't it just soil? Part of the land on Gaia Island, the hometown of the Sandia people, was coveted and robbed by the Sky Island people. This led to the centuries-long territorial dispute between the Sky Islanders and the Sandians. And at this moment, over East Blue, islands floating in the sky are arranged in formations. The size of each island is no less than that of the god's territory, lush and vibrant. Enel was amazed to see it. Real soil. This is definitely a spectacle for Sky Islanders. What's the point? Island clouds can float in the sky, how do these soils do it? Do you want to just go back? Remembering Nka's advice, Enel fell into hesitation. The place has been found, but he is really unwilling to let him retreat like this. It's better to ask my emperor first. After a simple ideological struggle, Enel took out the phone bug. With his bad and proud character, it is simply unimaginable that he could do this. This shows how high the status of the emperor Nka is in his heart. Brew. The phone bug answered. Kaga, hey Enel, have you found the Golden Lion? Nka's voice sounded. The environment there is a bit noisy. Mainly because the Emperor pirates brought the entire Sky Island people over to work as coolies. With the support of huge human resources, the construction speed of Ark Proverbs has increased by at least 10 times. Shantor's gold was also squandered crazily by Lao Sha and others. Most of this gold was used to build ships. Because of the properties of Thunder Fruit, the more gold there is on the ship, the stronger the ship will be. So in this regard, Nka will not be stingy. In just a few days, Shantora was evacuated. The problem that arises is that they may face being restrained by the Golden Emperor Tezog. The solution presented by Nka is, take that guy as your little brother. Solve the problem fundamentally. Found it. My emperor, I want to get in touch with the Golden Lion. Communicate to it your divine will. Enel said piously. He also held some newspapers and reward orders in his hand. Ace with a bounty of 1.3 billion Baileys. Lao Sha with a bounty of 1.1 billion Belly. Jinbei with a bounty of 1 billion Belly. Hawkeye with a bounty of 3.5 billion Baileys. Nka with a bounty of 4.9 billion Baileys. Enel estimates that when he goes to Qinghai, the bounty will definitely not be lower than Ace. Promoting the Imperial reputation to the Golden Lion is the main purpose of Enel's trip. These reward orders, which symbolize identity and status, are indispensable. Okay, if that guy is willing to surrender, bring him here with you. Kaga. After thinking briefly, Nka agreed to Enel's request and hung up the phone. He was busy building ships and moving gold here, and he really didn't have the time to worry about Enel's affairs. Just let that guy cause trouble as he pleases. Anyway, this thing is almost invincible. When it comes into contact with the Golden Lion, the unlucky one is also the Golden Lion. Yes, Enel was overjoyed and instantly appeared in the hall. His radar-like exaggerated observation hockey locked onto the Golden Lion almost instantly. The strongest breath here, conspicuous, abrupt, and invisible. Strangle. At this time, Golden Lion is in a daze. Looking at the silly Golden Lion with a ship's rudder stuck on his head and 2 feet using swords as prosthetic limbs. Enel was stunned. No matter how you look at this, he looks like a demented old man. There is no trace of legend at all. You must be the Golden Lion. I give you 2 choices, surrender, or die. Enel snorted coldly, involuntarily despising this bad old man. It seems that my emperor's attention is unnecessary. This old man is just a has-been dementia. Ah, who are you? Golden Lion was stunned for a while, and then exclaimed exaggeratedly. The reflex arc is too long. Enel also complained speechlessly. But now he obviously doesn't want to waste time on the stupid Golden Lion. The world seemed to pause. The lightning flashed, and Enel appeared beside the Golden Lion, taking action boldly. Powerful high-voltage lightning surged out like a flood. Overwhelmed the Golden Lion in an instant. Solved so easily. It seems that this so-called legend is just a paper tiger. The attack was so easy and smooth, to be honest, Enel himself didn't expect it. He thought that no matter how good this guy was, he should be as good as Ace. I didn't expect it to be so unbearable. Hiccup. The golden lion, which was chopped into coke, blew out a smoke ring. Looking at Enel in confusion. Is this you, Mom? Who is your mother? You old guy must have been fooled. Enel roared angrily and activated his Thunderfruit ability again. Boom. The golden dragon stick struck the 5 thunder drum. Thunderbirds, thunder beasts, and thunder dragons swarm out. An enemy invasion. Where are you from, little brat? Slash wave. Sensing the dangerous aura, the seemingly stupid golden lion finally reacted. Unceremoniously kicked out 2 sword energy to deal with it. Slash wave sword energy is enough to penetrate hundreds of kilometers, easily defeating lightning attacks. Seeing this, Enel also became serious. This Lao Deng does seem to have some skills. Can't beat it. What to do? Wait, there is absolutely no need to fight him. You don't have to fight me. I came to you on the order of my emperor. And Ka, the captain of the Imperial pirates, is my emperor, and my emperor is very interested in you. Old man, if you surrender, come with me. If you don't surrender, my emperor will come with the empire to kill you. Enel, who perfectly interpreted the power of a dog versus a man, took out his reward order. A large series of dazzling numbers jumped up. Bounty, 4.9 billion Baileys. 53 the most difficult copy. Advertise here. 4.9 billion Baileys. Emperor and Ka. What bird thing? This reward order is fake. Golden Lion's eyes widened with disbelief on his face. His first reaction was that the reward order was fake. No, are you kidding me? Roger's bounty is only 5.5 billion belly. Whitebeard's bounty is only 5 billion belly. And the name of the emperor. Etc. Move your eyes upward. Golden Lion saw the face of the owner of the bounty. It was a face that was too young to be true. The handsome face was not in the style of a pirate painting at all. He was wearing an imperial crown and hockey was leaking from the side. The most important thing is those eyes that penetrate the soul. Boom. The moment of eye contact. Unparalleled impact burst. The Golden Lion universe seemed to explode at this moment. This. He pointed at the reward notice, opened his mouth, trembled, and was speechless for a long time. What a sharp look. It's so shocking. Make eye contact with him. There is a sense of oppression facing my own mother. Horrible. With just this glance, Golden Lion no longer doubts and Ka's bounty. Such a strong style, such a sense of oppression. There is absolutely no way he is an unknown person. Definitely worth the 4.9 billion bounty. Even, Golden Lion felt a sense of absurdity in his heart that Roger was nothing more than that. What is this? This is our great emperor. Old man, it seems that you have been out of touch with the times for too long, and you don't even know the name of the emperor. Seeing that the other party was frightened by Nka's photo, Enel also became arrogant. The fox pretends to be the tiger's power, it's just cool. He has also read the reward order of our Emperor Anka, but he only gets scared once he sees it. Enel's limit was to keep looking at each other for half a minute. But that stupid old Golden Lion man was able to keep staring despite the pressure. What a legend he is. There are still 2 brushes dripping. Take a good look. Throw the newspaper in front of the Golden Lion. Enel raised his head proudly. No matter how awesome you are, can you be more awesome than your own boss? In front of the Emperor, you have to hide even if it's a dragon, or lie down even if it's a tiger. The strongest newcomer in history. The bounty for 1 month at sea is 4.9 billion. The new pirate king. All the officers are famous pirates. The pirate emperor who rules the world. This kid is too outrageous. Morgan's newspaper was too abstract. After reading through it, Golden Lion was dumbfounded. This emperor with a bounty of 4.9 billion has only been at sea for a few months. He even became recognized as the next pirate king. And declare war with old man Whitebeard. Public opinion still unanimously believes that old man Whitebeard will lose. The world is too crazy. The strongest newcomer in 800 years. Golden Lion muttered these words in a daze. Involuntarily, a sense of recognition arose in my heart. That's right, the strongest newcomer in 800 years. If he is not such a boy legend, then who else can bear this title? Joey boy, don't be kidding, he doesn't deserve it. Lead the way, I agree to meet your boss. The curiosity about Nka in his heart reached its peak, and Golden Lion could no longer restrain his desire to see him. If you can invite such a legendary man to be your right-hand man, then you will definitely be able to rule the world. Just like when I invited Roger. Although I know the success rate is slim, why not give it a try? You know what's going on, come with me. After seeing the other party surrender, Enel immediately led the Golden Lion to fly to the Island of Gods. He didn't worry at all that he would attract a wolf into his house. The exaggerated lineup of his own pirate team is the real Dragon's Pit and Tiger's Den for Golden Lion. The strongest Devil Fruit Thunder Fruit user. He can even capture this kind of uncontrollable violent force. It seems that Emperor Nka is really an amazing man. As expected of the recognized next pirate king. Roger, you have a successor. The Golden Lion who was following behind struggled to catch up with Enel, but Thunderfruit was too fast for him to catch up. After a while, the two arrived at the Kingdom of God. At this time, Lao Sha was supervising the construction of the spaceship by the Sky Islanders and Sandians. And Nka and Eagle Eye are studying the drawings of Arc Proverbs. According to information from Enel, And Ka feels that this arc motto is likely to be lunar technology. Otherwise, why would those machine lives on the moon be powered by electric energy just like the arc's mottos? Otherwise, why haven't top scientists like Vegapunk Quinn Judge developed a spaceship? It was developed by Enel, a stupid young man, and even went to the moon. This is unreasonable. In the extra chapter, Enel also encounters space pirates. In other words, other planets in the pirate world also have life and civilization. Thinking of this, and Ka became more and more curious. My team needs Vegapunk. Bulu Bulu, Bulu Bulu. Kaga. The phone bug answered. My emperor, the golden lion is following me. Enel's voice came from it. And Ka stood up suddenly and waved his hand. Little ones, get ready, guests are coming. A split second of effort. Brothers, Ace, Jinbei, Laosha, Hawkeye, Bator, and Ka. They gathered from all directions and lined up neatly in the temple. All departments are in their place. So, the golden lion who stepped into the temple saw this scene. The Inca crowned dragon robe on the main seat at the highest place is extremely powerful, like a super final boss. Behind him stands the arrogant and domineering guard Bartolomeo with a sword. Eagle Eye, the commander of the Royal Forest Army on his left hand, and Lao Sha, the commander of the Royal Guards on his right hand. Below are Army Marshal Ace, Marine Marshal Jinbei, and a group of heavenly soldiers and generals. Everyone looked serious and wore gorgeous Imperial canonization attire. The feeling of oppression is overwhelming. This is definitely the most difficult dungeon I have ever seen. Not even Marineford can compare. Golden Lion was dumbfounded on the spot. 54 kill the Golden Lion instantly with one hit. White group changes. Advertise here. The feeling of oppression is too strong. The Golden Lion could sense no fewer than 5 of them just because their aura was not inferior to his own. What a disappointment. Hawkeye curled his lips with an extremely disdainful expression on his face. He was originally very interested, but when he felt the aura of Golden Lion, the first thought is, can this thing really use Haki? In this state, it may be difficult to even activate Haki. It's no different than lingering for breath. A rudder is stuck on the head, like a big rooster. Lao Sha, who was holding a cigar, attacked Golden Lion's appearance mercilessly. The Golden Lion is known as the legendary pirate together with his enemy Old Man Whitebeard. It's really a bit unsatisfactory. Let him be disappointed and frustrated. Quote. Faced with Hawkeye Laosha's teasing, Golden Lion would have been annoyed by normal circumstances. But now he didn't dare to say anything. Not to mention that these two guys can't be beaten by themselves, the Emperor above is still watching with eager eyes. When people are under the eaves, they should bow their heads when they should. The 2 feet are actually swords. So cool. The only positive comment turned out to be from Ace. This guy is studying the prosthetic limbs made of Golden Lion's 2 swords with great interest. It is said that he was the first person in history to successfully escape from Impel Down, a large underwater prison. The price is these legs. Jinbei was explaining to Ace next to him. Prison break. So cool. Ace's eyes lit up after hearing this, and he shouted in admiration. Calm down, Ace. The superior and Ka coughed slightly and glanced at the Golden Lion with majestic eyes. The strong sense of oppression almost solidified. Gouda. Golden Lion swallowed hard. The words he originally planned to invite Ka to become his right-hand man were not spoken after all. This posture. If he dares to talk nonsense, I'm afraid I have to lie down and go out today. How about Golden Lion, have you decided to join the Emperor Pirates? As Ka's voice fell. Sonorous. Bator opens the barrier. Hawkeye's black sword is unsheathed. Lao Sha stood up. Ace flames rise. Jinbei gets into a fighting stance. The younger brothers were armed with knives and armor and were ready to attack. Visible to the naked eye, the entire temple is filled with a murderous atmosphere. Dense cold sweat broke out on Golden Lion's forehead. This posture. Does he dare to say half a word? Join Gooba. Of course I dare. What doesn't Golden Lion dare to do? Gia ha ha ha. You arrogant brat, if you join my army, I can reluctantly agree. But you want me to be your little brother. Stop dreaming. Gia ha 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 ha. The Golden Lion laughed wildly. He must have pretended to be scared just now. But the next moment, Golden Lion's rampant laughter stopped abruptly. Cut. And Ka spat out cold words. A word, Zon, appeared in midair. The sword light formed by the condensed majestic momentum roared out. The sword flashed past. A big head rolled to the ground. Golden Lion felt as if the world was spinning before his eyes, his vision gradually blurred, and finally he saw his headless body. The arrogant smile froze on his face, and the strong shock in his eyes hadn't had time to dissipate. Imperial decree. Cut. The momentum turns into sword light, which can only be used against those who are hostile to you. In terms of attack power alone, it is definitely not inferior to the red-haired Bamatu or Kainu Dark Hound. The stronger the aura, the stronger the attack power. So scary. Kill the Golden Lion with one blow. It all happened so fast. Before anyone could react, the legendary pirate Golden Lion had been beheaded. Hiss. Immediately afterwards, the sounds of gasps came one after another. Everyone was shocked. This was the first time that they felt the power of the Emperor Anka at such a close distance and intuitively. It's incredible. Too fast. I didn't see clearly how our emperor took action. The eagle's eyes were dumbfounded. Even he was ashamed of the light of the sword struck by the emperor's command. Too fast. Too fierce. I can't find any trace of the attack. It's like God's law. Follow the law. In the blink of an eye. The legendary pirate Golden Lion is just gone. What a terrifying and powerful force. Lao Sha was also as silent as a cicada. Looking at the Golden Lion with its head missing, he couldn't help but fantasize about his chances of survival after being attacked by Nka. But it is obvious that when he is targeted by Nka, his chance of survival is almost zero. So cool, Jinbei. Did you see that just now? My emperor just said the word, cut, and with a sudden flash of the sword, he chopped off the head of the old man with the coxcomb. Ace pulled Jinbei and yelled excitedly. I didn't expect that my emperor would be so graceful when he took action. Jinbei looked helpless. Don't shake my shoulders, I saw it. Click, click, click. The shutter sounds continuously. Bartolomeo was so excited that his lips trembled. Oh, he killed the legendary pirates with Whitebeard. And one shot. You are truly worthy of being my emperor. Send them all to Morgan's, this will definitely be big news that will set the ocean ablaze. At the same time, driven by fate, a stormy night in the new world. Boom. There was lightning and thunder, and the thunder reflected on a greedy and ugly face. Dark fruit appears. Blackbeard Teach killed Thatch, the captain of the 4th division of the Whitebeard pirates, for it. Ha 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 ha. Dad is old. 55 people's dreams will never end. Advertise here. Ha 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 ha. Dad is old. By opposing Emperor Anka, the Whitebeard pirates are destined to be destroyed. There is no way I will die with you. Now that fate has brought me across this coveted devil fruit. Then just do it without any scruples. Everything is fate. Blackbeard's low evil laugh was masked by the storm. But the excitement in his eyes cannot be concealed no matter what. He took out a reward warrant from his arms. Looking at that majestic and oppressive face. His expression became extremely respectful and pious. Goodbye, Daddy. I'm going to follow the new strongest man in the world. Thief, ha 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 ha. Blackbeard knew exactly what he wanted. Sachi's head was his pledge of loyalty to the Emperor. It is said that the Emperor pirates were anchored at Gaia Island during this time to explore the Sky Island in the sky. I have to rush there as soon as possible. Before that, I need to gather some partners to increase my voice. Blackbeard jumped on the boat and left the Whitebeard pirates under the cover of dark night and storm. At the same time, Sky Island, Kingdom of God, why did you accidentally kill the Golden Lion? Single quote. And Ka is a little depressed. He just wanted to test the power of the Imperial Edict. But I didn't expect the Emperor's order to be so terrifying, and he immediately gave it up. Golden Lion's strength is also good, it's wasted. At the same time, and Ka also came to a conclusion. A real pirate like the Golden Lion, who is cruel, cold-blooded and has no scruples, will not be afraid of his own power. Or maybe the generals and emperors of the same level are not afraid of him, they are just afraid of him at most. But Golden Lion, who rushes headlong without any brains, is the one who has the most restraint. By analogy, Kid, Jack, Luffy, these brainless guys should beware of themselves. And Ka, I really didn't expect that Golden Lion would dare to be aggressive in this situation. Do you really think he has a good temper? Facing this situation for the first time, he was a little at a loss and subconsciously launched his only attack method. But in fact, Golden Lion was also confused. This guy originally planned to make a big fuss and then fight out. The result is no more. Let's all disperse, everyone is busy with their own business. At this point, and Ka can only accept the reality helplessly. I'll take my leave. Hawkeye was the first to get up and leave. The moment Golden Lion started talking nonsense, he was already ready to take action. Because Hawkeye said that he would kill all the swordsman enemies for Nka. But I didn't expect Nka to take action faster. This made him feel a little frustrated, trying to steal someone's head. What a farce. Lao Sha also turned into windy sand and flew away, continuing to supervise his shipbuilding business. Come with good fortune and return with bad luck. The remaining people who lacked interest also dispersed in a hurry. TCH, arrogant old dog. You dare to act in front of our emperor, you really don't know how to live or die. Enel snorted and kicked the Golden Lion a few times. See and Ka's attack methods. He was also horrified in his heart. It's simply too powerful, it's almost as if he said it. It would have been impossible for him to react. Because that is simply a descending attack with nowhere to escape. Come on Ace, let's continue our spar. After resigning from Nka, Jinbei also took Ace to discuss. Nka took Bador to ask about Enel's Arc Proverbs drawings. The time came half a month later. Wow, what is this? Blackbeard looked at the devil fruit in his hand in surprise. The ugly face was so excited that Kakuzu grinned to the back of his ears. This shape, this color. It was exactly the same as the devil fruit he saw in the devil fruit illustrated book. Gouda. Blackbeard swallowed hard. Yes, this devil fruit is the lion fruit of the legendary pirate Golden Lion. For a moment, Blackbeard was caught in a tangle. Should I eat this devil fruit or not? Lion fruit also has extremely powerful abilities. But after weighing it for a while, he gave up. As expected, I still want Father Whitebeard's shock fruit ability more. Then, this legendary devil fruit should also serve as a certificate of submission. What do you think, boss? How about this devil fruit I picked up? Badgers on the side smiled and took credit. He picked up this devil fruit on the roadside. Following the boss to defect to Emperor and Ka, we are almost reaching Gaia Island, and our luck is getting better. It's just a devil fruit. Fan Oka said calmly. His only impression of devil fruit was that it was worth 100 million belly. No, this is not an ordinary devil fruit. This is the lion fruit of the legendary pirate Golden Lion. It's unbelievable. After disappearing for 20 years, I didn't expect that guy to be dead, Golden Lion. Ha 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 ha. Thief, with this lion fruit, our plan to join the Emperor Pirates will be smoother. Blackbeard's eyes were sharp, he stared at the devil fruit in his hand and laughed. Golden Lion's abilities. The four of them, Badgies Lafitte, Van Oka and Poison Q, were all shocked when they heard this. Picking up a random devil fruit can actually have such a powerful background. What a turn of events. Captain, Gaia Island has arrived. At this time, the helmsman Badgers reminded him loudly. Blackbeard also stopped smiling in an instant. Park the raft and boat on the shore and take the boys to the island. Stop. Diamandi, the top leader of the Don Quixote family, led his guards to stop several people. These are crucial times for Doflamingo on the island. No room for error. These guys in front of me don't look like good people, and Diamandi won't let them go to the island. Thief ha 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 ha. Dark water. Blackbeard smiled evilly, and a black hole like gravity erupted from his palm. Diamandi was instantly sucked into his hand. Boom. Punch hard. Bang dang. It's of no use, because Diamandi's clothes are made of countless steel compressions. Even if their abilities are blocked by dark fruit, these devil fruit creations will not be affected. Hateful. Blackbeard cursed as his hand hurt. Not expecting to be defeated here, he angrily threw Diamandi out. We want to join the Emperor Pirates. Human dreams. They will never end. 56 The situation is changing and the undercurrent is surging. Advertise here. Fufufufu. What are you doing, guy? A cold and sharp silver thread instantly appeared only 1 centimeter away from Blackbeard's eyeball. A wild and evil pink figure fell from the sky and stood in front of Blackbeard. Before anyone appeared, the recognizable arrogant laughter reached the ears of the Blackbeard pirates. Heavenly Yaksha, Doflamingo, Dover. Diamandi bowed slightly. Gouda. His pupils shrank suddenly, and Blackbeard rolled his throat nervously, swallowing a mouthful of spit. At that time, the line was only 0.001 centimeters away from his eyeball. Phew. Join the Emperor Pirates. A nobody, that adult is not some garbage collection station. If you offend Lord Anka, Lousy will be implicated. Doflamingo had veins on his forehead, smiled evilly, and twisted his 5 fingers at a strange angle. One can imagine, if you think that his negligence caused some rubbish to ruin and cause good mood. How will he face the Emperor's wrath? Clang. Lafitte instantly pulled out his staff and knife and laid it on Blackbeard's neck. The sniper rifle in Van Oka's hand that was aimed at Doflamingo also turned around and aimed at Blackbeard. Badgers even knocked Blackbeard down, and Poison Q and Zhuang also beat the drowned dog. The invisible transparent thread instantly controlled Blackbeard's companions, playing with them like puppets. Boss, I didn't mean it. Lafitte was shocked and tried to control himself to withdraw his sword, but to no avail. Damn it, my body doesn't obey its orders. Fanoka's teeth were almost broken, but he still couldn't turn the gun. Hateful. Badgers cried bitterly as he held down Blackbeard. Among Blackbeard's younger brothers, this guy is the most loyal. As this fate, the wilted Poison Q said half dead. Ha 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 ha, it's Heavenly Yaksha who is causing trouble. But don't worry. Blackbeard laughed heartily and didn't mind at all when his younger brothers punched and kicked him. He stretched out his palm, deep and mysterious black matter poured out, and a black hole-like gravity appeared. Dark water. Moment. Pulled by the irresistible huge force, Brother Ming moved and was directly sucked into his hand. Thin beads of cold sweat appeared on Brother Ming's forehead. The ability has disappeared. How about it? It doesn't feel good to lose your ability. Thief ha 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 ha. This time it was Blackbeard's turn to laugh. What he is most proud of is the devil fruit that he has been dormant for 20 years to get. Mysterious, powerful and scary. Now it's our turn to take action. Lafitte Fanoka and others also stood up, with evil looks on their faces, preparing to attack Ming Jie in a group. Dover. Diamandi rushed forward nervously. Brother Ming stopped him with a wave of his hand. I will take you to see Mr. Anka. At this time, Brother Ming's undisciplined mentality has completely solidified. He never expected that a random unknown person who wanted to join the Emperor Pirates would be so powerful. If this black guy becomes a member of the Emperor Pirates, he will not be able to provoke him. New World. World Economic News Service. President's Office. Morgans was squinting for a nap when a news bird threw a photo in his face. In his sleep, Morgans touched his face in a daze. Pick up the photo and view it. The next moment, he was stunned, and the photo slipped unconsciously. Morgans, who had just woken up and was still a little confused, suddenly woke up. The photo perfectly records the scene of Anka pronouncing words into a blade and killing the golden lion instantly. What? The Golden Lion, who had disappeared for 17 years, was actually killed. The news exploded in his mind like a bomb, and Morgan's mind went blank. How can it be? That's the Golden Lion. Morgan's has always regarded Anka as a cash cow, and he also understands that Anka's strength is terrifying. But unexpectedly, in just a few days, Anka broke the big news again. Could he kill Golden Lion instantly? Even the 4 Sea Emperors can't do it. That's an instant kill. 2 of the 3 legendary pirates have died. Is Whitebeard next? This is big news. Everyone, assemble. Morgan's body was shaking and he immediately called all the reporters in. He is ready to let the whole world know this shocking information. Let's take a look. You know how to write in newspapers. Morgan's chuckled and gave everyone a knowing look. Each reporter stared at the photos, frowning, and thinking rapidly. There's no need to even exaggerate. Because the news itself is exaggerated enough. Learn. The reporters were busy writing and writing. If nothing else, Anka is popular again. The legendary pirate, Golden Lion is back. Close double angle bracket. Instant kill Golden Lion. Emperor Anka overwhelming power. Close double angle bracket. The legend has fallen, and the old era will eventually come to an end. Next up is Whitebeard. Close double angle bracket. Eye-catching newspapers are flying around the world. The big pirates of Marine, 4 Emperors, and New World were all shocked when they saw these newspapers. I have done so much after being at sea for a few months. Grandma, is this a human being? Seeing the photo of the Golden Lion's decapitated head in the newspaper, Whitebeard fell silent. Aunt Kaido was sweating for herself, but fortunately Anka was not challenging herself. Marine headquarters. The momentum was huge, and the overwhelming newspapers made Marine panic. They desperately needed a meeting to cheer them up. Branu is still the king of meetings. There was wine and meat, and Marine's senior executives were extremely busy, and almost all of them were here. As you can see, Emperor Anka, this legendary man. Another earth-shattering incident has occurred. Killed the legendary pirate, Golden Lion, Shiki, who had been hiding for 17 years to accumulate conspiracy power. Snapped. A photo was taken by Branu on the blackboard. The scene above made Marine present extremely horrified. The legendary Golden Lion has no injuries on his body and no traces of battle around him. Kill instantly with 1 hit. Just hit it instantly. 57 Whitebeard was so scared that he peed. First update. Advertise here. The news that the Golden Lion lost was not an exaggeration. Because the current size of the Emperor pirates is already at the level of the 4 Emperors. Defeating a washed-up old pirate is a piece of cake. But that's an exaggeration. Emperor Anka actually has the power to kill Golden Lion with 1 strike. What does this mean? Today is Golden Lion, tomorrow is Whitebeard, and the day after tomorrow is 5 elders. I can't even think about it. It's time for the bounty to be raised again. What do you think of putting him in Roger's position this time? It is no longer realistic to stifle his development. But regardless of all titles, Anka is just a 17-year-old boy. We can completely flatter him and make him go astray before his mind reaches the stage of complete growth. This may ruin the future of this proud man. Counselor, he took a sip of tea and spoke leisurely. As one of the smartest people in the world of pirates. Counselor, he clearly knows that Anka's rise is unstoppable, but what if we work on the mental aspect? You must know that if you lack any aspect of mental and physical skills, you will not be able to reach the top. Ming Jie and Shanks have very different talents and backgrounds. The main reason for the difference in strength between the two is their mentality. Mental and physical skills and mentality are also linked to strength. Shanks can face everything calmly, but Brother Ming is scared by Kaido and has his tail between his legs. This is the gap. Crane plans to transform Anka into the next Brother Ming. Xiaohei, you are so sinister and despicable. Garp gave a thumbs up and approved. What is wisdom? This is wisdom. Lao Deng Garp would rather be against rocks than Crane. If you don't pay attention, you'll be killed. Ahem, what are you talking about, Garp? This is called resourcefulness. Sengoku gave Garp a hard look. How dare this Lao Deng describe justice as so evil, it is simply a way to die. That's it. It's been decided to increase Anka's reward amount to 5.5 billion. The final decision was made by Sengoku. Naturally, the Marines had no objections. Counselor E's idea was really good, and everyone agreed with it. Then that's it. Branu clicked and slapped a photo of 2 days in the same sky on the blackboard. In the picture, the thundering sun and the flaming sun are facing each other across the sky, as if 2 suns are in the same sky, which is extremely shocking. It exploded with the incident of Anka killing the Golden Lion. There is also the incident of Anka Haki subduing thunder and fire. Earth Fire refers to the Mera Mera fruit ability user, Portgas Dace. Tien Lei refers to the Thunder Fruit ability user, Enel, the god of Sky Island. That's right, Bartolomeo sent all the photos he took to the Morgans. With all the hype from this guy, almost the whole world knows that the Imperial pirates have gained another strongest demon fruit power, Thunder Fruit Enel. Very scary. Kizaru shivered in fear. The exaggerated look made everyone's faces darken. Fear is your lie. Thunder Fruit. He has such violent power in his pocket, he is indeed Anka. A bounty of 1.2 billion Baileys. Sengoku's eyes narrowed slightly. He was getting more and more troubled. Why was this most powerful newcomer in 800 years born during his tenure as Marine Marshal? Can't we wait 3 years for Akainu to take over before being born? Bad luck, bad luck. Hey, let me say, let's just watch and cause power grow. Akainu stood up a little unhappy. He really doesn't like this group of actor teammates who look forward to others' ambitions and destroy his own prestige. He talks about raising bounties every day to promote the pirates, but he doesn't think about annihilating them. Akainu, if you want to go there, you can go and catch them. The old enemy Aokiji said something rude. The two are incompatible, and he will naturally not miss any opportunity to make Akainu unhappy. Yes, Sakazuki, if you take action, you will definitely be stronger than Golden Lion. Kizaru also teased with a crooked mouth. Akainu was silent. Let yourself go alone. With the current size of the Imperial pirates, if you go upright, you might come back sideways. Golden Lion is a lesson learned from the past. No, he, Sakazuki, must remain useful and fight for justice. This is not cowardice, this is from the heart. After thinking about it, Akainu sat down again. Hateful, you little brat. The sword rendered armament hockey, slashing the Emperor's head with great force. Sonorous. The sound of gold and iron clashing was deafening. The broadsword struck a transparent barrier, as if it had hit a seastone shield. No matter how hard Whitebeard exerted himself, he couldn't make an inch. The Imperial guards with swords are here. How dare you assassinate my Emperor? The guards wearing precious armor and holding broadswords were hiding under the barrier, and they were extremely arrogant. Whitebeard opened his mouth to speak, and the next moment a sharp sword energy hit his face. A numbing sense of crisis appeared in Whitebeard's heart. He tilted his head suddenly, and the sword energy passed across his face dangerously. The face is protected by armament hockey and is safe and sound. But his proud beard was chopped off. My Emperor, I am late to save you. I hope you will forgive me. The commander of the Royal Forest Army appeared in front holding a black sword, firmly blocking the Emperor behind him. Old man, settle the old and new accounts together. The commander of the Jin Yiwei came over carrying a mummy and smiling evilly. The mummy's appearance and attire were clearly that of Marco. Dad, although I didn't know I would call you this, your death has come. Flames rose from the body of the army marshal, and the dying Diamond Chaozi was stepping on his feet. It is your greatest misfortune to go against my Emperor. The Air Force Marshal sneered, having already killed the captains of the Whitebeard pirates instantly. I'm sorry Dad, you're going to die. Marshal Marine apologetically solved Foil Beasta. The Emperor in the barrier slowly raised his head. The cold eyes make people feel like falling into an ice cave. The surrounding scene was spinning, turning into a hell on earth, and each member of the Whitebeard pirates died tragically on the spot. Family, reputation, wealth, life, he has lost everything. Whitebeard, you lose. The cold voice keeps echoing. No. Whitebeard sat up suddenly. Drenched in sweat, he panted heavily. After seeing his surroundings clearly, Whitebeard finally breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out to be a dream. Etc. Reach out and touch. Whitebeard was stunned to find out why his quilt was so wet. Becoming a trendy guy. 58 My little brother is stupid, right? Second update. Advertise here. Brew. Kaka. Hey, brother Ming, what's the matter? And Ka answered the phone casually. The construction of Arc Proverbs is in full swing. Due to the increase in labor force, he discussed with Enel and planned to build the ship larger. The price paid is that their construction date will be extended. The various things that followed were making Ka very busy. Enka sir, here comes a pirate who calls himself Blackbeard. I want to join your pirate group. And the opponent also brought a great gift, the ability of the golden lion you killed, lion fruit. Brother Ming on the other side of the phone was very cautious and didn't even dare to fart. Especially through the overwhelming newspapers, I learned that Golden Lion was instantly killed by Nka. 757. He was already afraid of Nka, but now his fear level was maxed out. Blackbeard was even a little disappointed. I originally thought that picking up Golden Lion's devil fruit was a great achievement. After working on Golden Lion for a long time, someone killed him. This also strengthened Blackbeard's determination to follow Nka. He has been able to follow Whitebeard for 20 years, which shows that this guy is still very loyal. The premise is that you must be able to suppress him. Blackbeard. At this time, Nka's facial expression was exactly the same as that of an old man looking at his cell phone on the subway. Really confusing. You give the phone to Blackbeard. Let him see what's going on. Why is the nice little Heitsi here too? Others are lucky. I am a strong man with good luck. Those who own Conqueror's hockey, those heroes, are rushing to join them. What's the point? Master Anka. Blackbeard on the opposite side was obviously very excited, and his voice was trembling because of his excitement. Do you know, ever since I saw your heroic hockey in the newspaper, I have been deeply impressed by your domineering spirit. You are the strongest man in the world. Old man Whitebeard is already old and there is no way he can be your opponent. So I killed Saki, the captain of the 4th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, and came to join you. Thatch's head and lion fruit are my certificate of submission. Oh yes, you are so powerful that you can even kill legendary pirates like Golden Lion. You will definitely become the Pirate King. Please accept your loyalty, little Marshal D. Teach. Listen to Blackbeard's passionate speech. And Ka looked confused. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Is this the Blackbeard he remembers? There won't be any substitutions. There's something wrong with this style of painting. Are you sure you're not possessed by Bartolomeo? Forget it, lion fruit, don't give it up for free. Blackbeard, you and your companions should join the army. The position of field marshal is ente ace. You will be the deputy marshal. By the way, Blackbeard, you won't have any problem with you being subordinated to Ace, right? All I can say is the wonder of fate. In the Whitebeard Pirates, Blackbeard is a member of Ace's second team and Ace's subordinate. In this world line, he became Ace's subordinate again. Master Anka, I have no objection. I have no ambition. Blackbeard showed a simple smile and said with satisfaction. When I first arrived, I directly became the deputy marshal of the army. This is really a step up to the sky. Whether Blackbeard has ambition or not depends entirely on whether the captain has ambition. If the captain is the strongest newcomer in 800 years like Anka, he definitely has no ambition at all. But if the captain is an old man like Whitebeard who is content with the status quo and has no ambition to make progress, this guy will definitely be dissatisfied. It went really well, thanks to the lion fruit I picked up. Fan Oka and others were also beaming with joy. When one person attains enlightenment, chickens and dogs ascend to heaven. Now they are the cronies of the vice marshal of the Imperial Pirates. It went straight up. It floated. Next to him, Doflamingo saw the arrogance of several people and secretly cursed in his heart for those who take advantage of others. If possible, he would also like to be Nka's younger brother. Then you don't have to be afraid of Kaido's big stick. Enel, you go down and bring up the lion fruit. After hanging up the phone, Nka had new arrangements. Lion fruit is indeed an unexpected surprise. With lion fruit, he can completely change his strategy. Lao Sha was left to supervise the shipbuilding and build the ark bigger and better. And they used the ability of lion fruit to go down to fight Whitebeard. Kill two birds with one stone. Nothing will be delayed on either side. Learn. There was a flash of lightning, and Enel's figure disappeared instantly. There is no doubt that thunder can fly, and it can fly very fast. For unknown reasons, Enel never left Sky Island. But after receiving Nka's order, he would not be vague at all. F*K. What a big man. I just went down and saw the giant Dory Brigi. The people in Enel who had never seen the world were dumbfounded. Is Qinghai so fun? Even such huge humans exist. Business matters. Forcibly suppressing his desire to study giants, Enel gritted his teeth and came to Blackbeard and others. Thunder fruit ability. It seems you are the Air Force Marshal. When we first met, Tutuo gave me some advice. Blackbeard smiled and stretched out his palm. With the increase in Nka's bounty, the identities of the leaders of the Imperial Pirates have also been completely revealed. The Royal Forest Army who supervises various ministries. Jin Yiwei who collects intelligence. Air Force in air combat. Army fighting on land. Marine fighting under the sea. Such an exquisite and comprehensive assignment of tasks is really exciting. He can't wait to join the group. Please give me your advice. Enel dug his ears, then shook Blackbeard's hand with earwax-stained hands. With his arrogance, how could he look down on the humble Blackbeard? Blackbeard, who can speak calmly, is very considerate to Nka. Hey. Blackbeard didn't care about what the other party did, but his eyes became more and more dangerous. The moment when two hands are held together. Time seems to stand still at this moment. Enel people are stupid. No, what about his thunder fruit ability? Little brother, you are stupid. The show of force was successfully given, and Blackbeard couldn't stand it any longer. 59 Blackbeard, let go. Third update. Advertise here. Enel. Let go. Blackbeard. No. Enel. Why don't you let go? Blackbeard. No. The two began to stalemate. If he hadn't been concerned about Enel's identity, Blackbeard would have been fooled by the competition a long time ago. But Enel is really panicking. The thunder fruit ability that he was so proud of was completely gone. He couldn't feel it anymore. He couldn't activate it. This is no different from a fish out of water. Everyone was silent. This scene. It's hard to describe in words, I can only say it's hard to describe in one word. PFF'd ha ha ha. Badgers was the first to hold back his laughter. Why is it so funny? As he took the lead, Lafitte and others also laughed heartily. Brother Ming pretended not to see it at all. There is an Air Marshal of the Emperor Pirates, and a Deputy Field Marshal of the Emperor Pirates. Don't dare to laugh. I am really redundant here. If you don't stop telling me to complain. Enel was furious 23. Directly used the biggest killing move, fighting against the power of others. Excuse me, you were the one who messed up first. Blackbeard is also completely unfazed. Anyway, the one who bites to death is the one who strikes first. Who doesn't know how to fight against human power? They are all dogs of the Emperor. They are just two dogs competing for favor at most. Don't make trouble. I have business to attend to. Give me lion fruit and delay my Emperor's plan. Can you bear the responsibility? Enel had absolutely no choice but to use his ultimate killer move. Follow orders. I have a mission. Did you bear the consequences of the delay? Cut. Sure enough, Blackbeard fell for this trick and could only let go of Enel's hand angrily. This will be the first and last time you meet me in your life. Enel stared at Blackbeard and said bitterly. He shook his pinched palm, which was covered in bruises, and understood that the other party also kept his hand. Otherwise, his hand would have been crushed by now. This fat black man like a wild boar is not simple. Take it. Throwing the lion fruit out casually, Blackbeard continued to eat Sakura peach pie casually. If it were his boss Ace, he could still give him some face and be afraid of 3 points. But who do you think you are from the Air Force? Can you still control your own deputy field marshal? Without saying any nonsense, Enel took the lion fruit and left. It turned into lightning and soared upwards. Shoo shoo shoo. Kingdom of God. Temple. Deus, eat this lion fruit. The moment he got the lion fruit, Enka called Poseidon over without any hesitation. Lion fruit is a strategic force in Enka's view. It doesn't matter whether the owner of the ability is powerful or not. What matters is whether he is loyal and has excellent navigation skills. Golden Lion's island ship has gathered a large number of the world's top navigators. The purpose is to avoid bad weather during the flight. Anyway, what he needs is a tool man who can take them all over the world. Give me. Deuce couldn't believe it. I never dared to think like this in my wildest dreams. Such a big surprise hit me on the head. The legendary pirate, Golden Lion's abilities. That's right, I gave it to you. After eating it, you will have one day to become familiar with the fruit's abilities. Just take our pirate ship and fly. Come on, I believe in you. He patted Deus on the shoulder, and with Enka's encouraging eyes, lion fruit was handed over. Is he relieved to leave his life in the hands of Deus who just ate the lion fruit? I'm definitely not worried, so Enka asked Jinbei to prepare a large number of balloon octopus, which can serve as parachutes. Even if Deus crashes, it will be fine. Thank you for your trust, my emperor. I will definitely do it. Deus obviously didn't know that Enka didn't believe him at all, and thought that Enka had entrusted his life and safety to him. I was moved to tears and at the same time, ked devil fruit hard. Not a single bite is left. This is really cruel. Go on, hurry up and get familiar with your abilities. After sending away Deus, Enka began to think about the next strategic steps. It's time to strengthen yourself. Step 1. Go down and pick up Blackbeard. Step 2. Turn Brother Ming into a younger brother. The third step. Absorb the Baroque working group to enrich Lao Sha's Jin Yue. Step 4. Go to Hawkeye's house to expand the Imperial army with the stolen baboons. Step 5. F*K Whitebeard. Perfect. So perfect. Dot. Little ones, let's go. Enka stood on the bow and led everyone away from Sky Island. Deus, who had just become familiar with the fruit's power, controlled the pirate ship and took off staggeringly. Enel and Jinbei stayed on Sky Island to continue supervising the construction of Arc Proverbs. Hawkeye, Lao Sha, Ace, and Ba Tuo followed Enka to Qinghai. Coupled with Ming Jie and Blackbeard, the Whitebeard pirates are more than enough. Hey, is this guy really reliable? Looking at the rickety spaceship, Lao Sha looked at Deus speechlessly and worriedly. You've become a pirate, so it's normal to leave your luck to God. Ace didn't take it seriously. He had great trust in his good friend Deuce. 320 The problem is that our destiny is not in the hands of God, but in the hands of that guy. Veins popped up on Lao Sha's forehead. He is almost on the verge of losing his mind. Don't worry, let me tell you, I saw Jinbei install the balloon octopus on the boat yesterday. This ship will never fall no matter what. The eagle's eye is as steady as an old dog's. He knew the truth, which was why he boarded the ship with confidence. So that's it. After hearing what Hawkeye said, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Sure enough, my emperor has a backup plan. Unexpectedly, a smooth landing. The emperor pirates set foot on Gaia Island again. Greetings to my emperor. Long live my emperor. Long live my emperor. Blackbeard had already led everyone to greet him. This guy seems to have studied a lot. He even learned and used the great gift of 3 bows and 9 kowtows. Everyone is at peace. The emperor's style is so cool, and Ka is really satisfied. He came straight to Brother Ming. Domineering said, Da Flamingo, how about joining my emperor pirates? Although it is a question, it sounds like a notification. Da Flamingo is surprised and happy. I thank you, your majesty. Yes, and Ka has brought the feudal dynasty to the world of pirates. .60 lines Kaido. Kaido is scared. 4th update. Advertise here. Your majesty, Kaido sighed. Da Flamingo hesitated to speak. The coquettish look almost revealed the unspeakable expression on his face. How could Enka not know what this guy is thinking? You are definitely cowardly, Kaido. Give me the phone bug and I'll talk. Take away the phone bug aggressively. Enka made a phone call without saying anything. Bulu bulu. Bulu bulu. The phone bug decorated with Kaido's matching clothes is still ringing. Everyone's hearts are lifted. Did it show up? This is a 4 Emperors level confrontation. Kaka. It took a while. Finally, the call was connected. A drunken voice came from it. Clown, what are you doing? Hurry up and get the artificial devil fruit ready for me, or I'll F*K your mommy. Well, it's obvious that Kaido is very drunk. Everyone looked at Brother Ming with strange eyes. Kaido has insulted you like this, how can you bear this? But in fact, Brother Ming is really tolerant. A real man can bend and stretch without any shame. F***ku, idiot Kaido. If you get drunk, go drink some horse urine to wake up. Before Nka could speak, Bachuo behind him couldn't help himself. In this case, it's time for him to show off his talents. With a strong persona and a boss filter, Nka, who is regarded as an emperor, has the dignity of an emperor, how can he curse people casually? Very shameful. Just using your mouth to replace Bachuo has done a great job. Who are you? What's the name of a dog? Clown, if you don't take care of your dog, I'll smash your head in. Kaido's roar was like thunder. The phone bug imitated the angry gesture vividly, thinking that Brother Ming was provoking him. Brother Ming, how dare you? This is why Kaido is furious. Even across the phone, everyone can feel the fierce and vicious aura coming towards them. Doflamingo even shivered unconsciously. A strong man at the level of 4 emperors. The sense of oppression is too strong. Simply a different kind of creature. Kaido, do you know who Laozi is? The sword-carrying guard in front of my emperor, the emperor, is Bartolomeo, the Imperial barrier. No matter what, 4 emperors pirate king, Bator is not a coward. The only person who can defeat the belief and tough words of a brainless fan is his idol. Not to mention Kaido, here in Bator, it won't work even if Roger comes. Nka, the drunk Kaido woke up instantly when he heard these 2 words. Nka's killing of the Golden Lion has caused a stir recently, and his reputation has risen to the level of Roger, the pirate king. How could he not know? The bastard Golden Lion can be regarded as an old-timer who knows everything about Kaido, so his strength goes without saying. The first prisoner to escape impelled down. But even this kind of guy was defeated by Nka with 1 blow. The horror of the Emperor Nka, see you later Madara. Please forgive my disrespect, Lord Anka. That's right, Kaido is timid. Before Nka appeared, Kaido had always believed that he would be Joey Boy. It's different now. The 17-year-old 4 emperors, recognized as the future pirate king. Nka is so legendary, even if Kaido doesn't believe in himself, he still believes in Nka. There is another main reason why Kaido, who is not afraid of anything, gives in. That's Whitebeard. Old man Whitebeard is about to start King Nka. I provoke Nka at this time. Wouldn't it share the pressure with Whitebeard? This won't work. It's frustrating to admit that you are cowardly. But he couldn't accept that Whitebeard took advantage. Kaido, I won't talk nonsense to you, Doflamingo is already my little one. Man-made devil fruit is also my product. The 2 of us can continue to trade, but the price needs to be renegotiated. Nka finally spoke. The artificial devil fruit trade is the main link between Doflamingo and Beast's pirates. Because the status and strength gap between the 2 sides is too big. Doflamingo's position in the transaction is very weak, and he is the loser. After Nka took over, naturally he would not allow this to happen. Want to take advantage of yourself? First ask if Hawkeye is willing to use the knife. Can. After thinking briefly, the voice on the other side of the phone agreed. Kaido is a very calculating, cunning person. Also very tolerant. In this situation, as long as Nka doesn't do whatever he wants, everything will be fine. Kaka, no more nonsense, Nka hung up the phone directly. Brother Ming, you will be incorporated into Hawkeye's Royal Forest Army and serve as the Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the Royal Forest Army. Jinbei Laosha Hawkeye Mingei, he has collected 4 Shichibukai. We still need the Great Bear Empress Moria, so we have them all. Good guy, the government's Shichibukai are almost becoming the backup force of their own pirate group. Follow your orders. Brother Ming had no objections. What he fears most is the 4 emperors. If he follows Hawkeye, he must be obedient. Ace, meet your deputy, Marshal Teach, Blackbeard. Teach, this big Madara boy is your boss, Entei Ace. After arranging for Brother Ming, Nka also introduced Blackbeard Ace to the 2 of them. Ha 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 ha, Marshal Ace, I'm glad to meet you. These are my partners. Please give me your advice in the future. Blackbeard scratched his head and smiled innocently. The speed of his personality change shocked Nka. This fat black man killed the fugitive criminal who was the captain of the 4th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates yesterday. He was a vicious man. Today, his temperament has changed Li Qian's into a simple and honest person who is harmless to humans and animals. The city is extremely deep. This is a high praise given by Nka. Teach, I think we need a banquet to welcome new partners. Ace smiled slightly. With the same cheerful and heroic character, the sun and darkness are very harmonious. Nka was also relieved upon seeing this. It's time to go to Alabasta. In his opinion, it is also necessary to absorb the Baroque working society into Jinyue. Dazabanus, Xiao Feng, third brother Ju Ju, and Lao Sha's subordinates all have good fighting capabilities. It can largely make up for the lack of mid-level combat power in the Imperial pirates. Dory, Brigitte, please wait at Gaia Island for a moment. Everyone, go back to Chin. The giant's huge body makes it very inconvenient to move around, and the Imperial pirates don't have a ship for the giant to ride on. We can only arrange for the 2 of them to stay put. .61 when Fujitora meets conquerors. First update. Things have changed. On the way to Alabasta, everyone encountered a blind swordsman blocking the way. A legend that is rare to see in 800 years. This is the first time I regret blinding myself so I can't see you. Where are you? The blind swordsman held his staff and sword, flew on a piece of gravel, and stopped the flying emperor pirates. The strongest newcomer in 800 years. At the age of 17, he has a bounty of 5.5 billion. Recognized as the next pirate king. He was revered as an emperor and gathered a group of powerful capable officers in just a few months. Such a man is a true legend. Being born in the same era as him is witnessing history. I haven't seen Nka's appearance with my own eyes, looked into the eyes of the legendary emperor, and felt the oppression of the sky and the earth. It's Fujitora's biggest regret. The aura on him is very powerful. But it is powerful but not obvious, and it belongs to the kind of introverted state of returning to nature. This also gave Ace Blackbeard and others the confidence to provoke each other. Only Hawkeye, who is also a top powerhouse, can feel that this guy is unfathomable. You guy, if you don't want to die, just get out of the way. There is no doubt that Batuo is barking again. This guy is a total mad dog. It doesn't matter who you are 133, you are not used to it. Even if Nka asked him to bite a Kainu, he would not be a coward at all. Blind swordsman, how do you fly? It's exactly the same as Deus. Could it be that there are two lion fruits? Ace's focus has always been strange. The abilities of the gravity fruit and the lion fruit are too similar. But in fact, there is no superior subordinate relationship between the two, and even the lion fruit cannot restrain the gravity fruit. Lion fruit is a law-type superpower that can make all objects it touches float regardless of gravity. It is simply the nemesis of gravity fruit. Watch me take this guy down. Blackbeard, who has just joined the pirate group, is eager to make contributions and can't wait to show himself. He stretched out his palm, and a black hole-like gravitational force exploded. An irresistible gravitational pull towards Yishao. He smiled and frowned slightly. The staff sword was lightly activated, and the gravity field descended around Blackbeard. Boom. In an instant, the overwhelming pressure pressed Blackbeard to the ground, unable to move. Dark water skills are no different from clowns in the face of gravity suppression. Hateful. Blackbeard still doesn't understand why he's kicking the butt. A face-to-face encounter directly knocks him down. This guy is definitely more powerful than Father Whitebeard. You guy. Bang 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 bang. Van Okalifit and others pulled out their guns and shot wildly. They would not be stupid enough to fight hand to hand. Who would dare to fight with such pressure from the opponent? Buzz. Fujitora suppressed them all with a wave of gravity, knocking them all down. Blackbeard and his party lay neatly on the ground unable to move. Are you going to take action, Hawkeye? Lao Sha hung his cigar, and there was already a sandstorm brewing in his hands. But Hawkeye was unmoved. Crocodile, you'd better not take action, this guy is not something you can handle. If he wants to run, we can't stop him. Moreover, the other party has no malicious intent. There is always sympathy between strong men, and Hawkeye is also very interested in this ability swordsman. The combination of fruit ability and swordsmanship. Interesting. The nature of human beings is indeed double standards. If it were an ordinary swordsman, Eagle Eye would have said disdainfully that he was not doing his job properly, but Lei Hu, who was promoted to the rank of general and emperor, smiled. That's a different story. Cut. Lao Sha also stopped angrily. He is not an impulsive person. Since Hawkeye said he couldn't beat him, but he definitely couldn't beat him, there was no need to ask for trouble. Hey, you guy actually dares to attack my partner. The deputy marshal was suppressed, and Army CDFI, Generalissimo Ace must not be able to bear it. The lives of his companions are one of the things he values most. He will never remain indifferent to this situation. Second gear. Ace is impulsive, but not stupid. This blind swordsman is obviously very awesome, he must go all out. The flame takes on a new look and transforms into an orange flame. The flame steamed, and the flaming figure burst out. Gravity knife. Tiger. The terrifying lateral pressure slashes out with sword energy. A smile and a sword swing. Strong pressure is coming from all directions. With just one blow, Ace was instantly killed. Boom. The flames were shot to the deck and collapsed, revealing their true form. Ace had fallen into a coma. The general's ability to suppress his subordinates is almost unstoppable. If you are a little careful, you can easily kill the emperor's deputy in an instant. Where is Nka? After suppressing Blackbeard and killing Ace instantly, Zhou Xiaoxiao finally spoke again. That's right, he couldn't find Nka. Because the turtle card Conqueror's Haki can block the detection of sight, hearing and color. So Nka is completely invisible here in Fujitora. I'm here. In fact, Nka also has a bit of bad taste in it. My own brand Conquerors is a perfect match for Fujitora. Restrained to death. Fujitora is no different from a real blind person here. Where? Fujitora is confused. What is talking? Is there anyone there? What a hell, I'm here. This time, Li Hu heard it clearly. The source of the sound was behind Hawkeye and Lao Sha, and in front of Bartolomeo. Is there anyone there? A big question mark appears on Fujitora's head. There is obviously no breath. Without eyes, you wouldn't be able to see my Emperor Haki. Hawkeye couldn't help but laugh. Lao Sha also laughed. You blind man is very good at observing and observing. Sorry, observation hockey is not valid for Nka. Oh, I really have a headache. Fujitora was completely speechless. I originally thought that if I had cultivated my sense of sight, hearing, and color to the ultimate level, I would no longer need my eyes. Only then did he feel free to hurt his eyes. I didn't expect to meet someone who was immune to sex. Can something like this happen? Could it be that he was killed on sight? But it shouldn't be. The level is sighting and killing, and the body will also have human breath and voice. In Fujitora's perception, Nka seems to not exist at all. The evil has arrived. 62 Brother Fujitora, Lord of Dali Temple, second update. Advertise here. I'm curious as to what causes a strong man like you to lose his eyes. Finally here. Classic lines. Shanks Whitebeard. It feels like you're with us. Now that they have met, Nka will certainly not let Fujitora go. How could he not want this kind of general strength that he picked up for free? All the talented people in the world come under my command. They come, the security. Now that you are here, please stay with me. The small abacus clicked loudly. But from Fujitora's perspective, a breathless person appeared next to him without any warning. Then he spoke with a hint of teasing and ease. He was so frightened that his heart skipped a beat. This was so scary for his grandma. Why are you immune to seeing and hearing? Bullying me for being blind. I closed these eyes myself because I saw too many things I didn't want to see. Fujitora slowly lowered his head and told the truth in the calmest tone. He has secretly sworn that he will never go against Nka in this life. Otherwise, I would be as blind as a fool. What? You destroyed your eyes yourself. Bartolomeo's shocked hands were placed in his mouth and he was biting nervously. Everyone also gasped. I originally thought he lost his eyes due to some battle, but I didn't expect. He mutilated his eyes. He is a cruel person. Interesting. In an instant, Eagle Eye couldn't help but be moved. The strong have seen too much. This is the first time I have seen such a strong person with such personality and aloofness. If it weren't for his principle of not bullying disabled people, I'm afraid I can't help but compete with Fujitora and make friends with martial arts. It's a blessing not to be able to see things. There are too many dirty and nasty people in the world that people can't bear to look at. A deep magnetic voice sounded, and Fujitora seemed to be standing in the light at this moment. His stature was extremely tall. The heroic image of a great god-tier saint leaps onto the scene. Even the sinister Lao Sha has to admit that this blind swordsman really has a charming personality. Mentality has always been the key to becoming a strong person. Fujitora can have such an enlightenment, he deserves to practice to the level of shogun. Very cool. My emperor, you need such a little love. Bartolomeo's eyes had turned into the shape of stars. He announced that Fujitora would be his second idol from this moment on. It would be a pity for such a talent not to be my emperor's younger brother. Only becoming a stinky younger brother would not be regarded as being buried in the group. For example, Bato said again. For example, inexplicably, Fujitora was a little confused. Why couldn't he understand what this coxcomb guy was saying? I cut my eyes because I don't want to be stained by dirty people. For example, Bartolomeo looked at Fujitora with great excitement and anticipation. So that's what happened. Fujitora suddenly realized, and his eyes fell on the fat black man who was suppressed by him involuntarily. Like this guy. Luckily I can't see his ugly look. Good guy. Just use Blackbeard as a negative example. Observation hockey is so superb. What's the difference between you and an ostrich who sticks its brain in the sand when it encounters danger? You are so lofty and noble, but you are just deceiving yourself and others. Blackbeard, who was pinned to the ground, spat in disdain. Can he bear being humiliated like this? He immediately used very sharp words to attack. Full marks for this counterattack. Oh no. With a wailing sound, Bartolomeo dropped to his knees in disappointment with his head in his hands. Because of Blackbeard's sharp attack. As a result, the glorious and great image that Fujitora had just established collapsed. Even Fujitora himself felt low. There is absolutely no way to refute what this fat black man said. Why did you cut your own eyes? If you don't like this world, just change it. Nka has no expression on his face, but his tone is full of undisguised ambition and pride. I do not know how it is. Fujitora, who couldn't feel the breath of Nka at first, suddenly seemed to see a bright light. It was the most beautiful light he had ever seen. If you don't like this world, just change it. Fujitora couldn't help but read this sentence. But the next moment, he shook his head violently. Change this F***ed up world. 0. This is more difficult than seeing the light again, and it is as difficult as ascending to heaven. Impossible, impossible. Just as he was about to speak, Kuohu suddenly froze when he remembered the identity of the person in front of him. Yes, this is Nka, the strongest in 800 years. Joey Boy, a legend at that level. Even One Piece Roger is far from qualified. If it were him, maybe it would be possible. Change this terrible world. Fujitora has never regretted self-mutilating his eyes so much. Emperor Nka, what kind of person are you? What is the color of your hair? What is the shape of your eyes? What do you look like? It would be great if these eyes were not closed. I want to see your face. You should have a legendary face. Actually, It's just a paralyzed face. How about it? Do you want to join my pirate group? The time has come, and Enka extends his olive branch. He now feels that his charm attribute is simply a mystery. If there is a panel, it will definitely be full. A pirate. It's indeed a novel experience. But I hate filth and sin. Fujitora's heart was moved. Although he couldn't feel Enka's breath, he still held Enka's hand accurately. This is the arrangement of fate. Hate sin. Then you are truly a benevolent pirate who cares about the common people. Emperor's canonization triggers. Fujitora returns home. After thinking about it for a while, Enka had an idea. With a smile, I will grant you the title of Minister of Dali Temple, in charge of punishments and cases. Whoever dares to kill innocent people indiscriminately and violate discipline must be punished severely without mercy. Dali Siching, an organization that is most suitable for Fujitora. It can be regarded as the first step for Enka to clear his name. He will definitely not be willing to just be a pirate. The Department of Dali Temple was created to absorb some chivalrous people and build a positive image. The future Zephyr Iokiji all have the potential to be stuffed into Dali Temple. Black and white take it all. As soon as he said it, a black official uniform appeared around Fujitora. And he was equipped with 3 artifacts. Dog-headed guillotine, tiger-headed guillotine, dragon-headed guillotine. 8.63 Hold on to the lap of the times. Third update. What the hell? 3 sharp knives. The eagle-eyed people are all stupid. With his eyesight, he couldn't see how powerful the dog-headed guillotine, tiger-headed guillotine and dragon-headed guillotine were. Each one is of the level of a fast knife. Among them, the leading guillotine faintly touches the threshold of the supreme sharp knife. For a moment, he felt a little unbalanced. Why is the other party so arrogant, but the weapon after my canonization is the eagle claw? My emperor. Fujitora lowered his head, put away the 3 guillotines, and joined the emperor pirates on the spot. Blackbeard's gang, who had been immobilized by his gravity, were finally free. Blackbeard looked at Fujitora with lingering fear. This girl is so fierce. Hit him directly until he loses his temper. And Enka's momentum is too exaggerated. Another reason why Blackbeard, San, is determined to follow Enka is that Enka is the strongest in 800 years, a legend among legends. Follow a man like this. Just embrace the lap of the times. You can fly even while lying down. After the results came, I found that there were quite a few people who had the same idea of hugging my thighs. Hateful. Fire punch. When Ace woke up leisurely and saw Fujitora for the first time, he was immediately shocked. Just because at this time, the distance between Fujitora and Enka has become so close that it is a bit ambiguous. The Emperor's life safety has been threatened. Flames as majestic as the sea spurted out and attacked the blind swordsman without any explanation. Even if he knows he is defeated, he will risk his life and faith to protect our Emperor. Boom. A tough barrier resists the flames. Hawkeye pulled out the black sword and pressed it gently, and the sword energy crushed the remaining flames. Ace, this person has joined the Emperor Pirates and became the minister of Dali Temple canonized by our Emperor. Bartolomeo blocked Ace and explained. Yes, Marshal Ace, we are all our own people, don't be impulsive. At this time Blackbeard also came out to smooth things over. Making friends with an unfathomable and powerful general will be of endless benefit to them. My Emperor. Ace did not stop immediately, but turned his attention to Enka. After Enka nodded slightly, Ace put away the flame. Hello, my name is Ace. Ace is not a narrow-minded person, on the contrary, he is very open-minded. Fujitora had just been violently tortured, and in the blink of an eye he was greeting me with a bright smile. He didn't take the unpleasantness to heart at all. Fujitora smiles. If you don't hit the smiling person, Fujitora will naturally give him face. Okay, everyone is at your place and we are setting sail. Gaining another general and Emperor's younger brother, Enka felt completely opposite in his heart. With Fujitora, there is no need to worry about Deus crashing this time. With Fujitora in charge, there won't be any problems. After solving the Fujitora episode, the spacecraft continued sailing in the direction of Alabasta. Arrive at destination quickly. Long live my Emperor. Long live. The members of the Baroque working group had been waiting outside the rain banquet early. At the head are Nico Robin and brother Feng, the third brother of Dasbanus, followed by thousands of younger brothers. Pingshan, commander of the Jinyi guards, I leave it to you. Enka had no intention of joking around with these little karamis, so he left all the power to the old man. According to the order, after Lao Sha accepted the order, his body turned into windy sand and flew down, arriving in front of several people. The already oppressive Lao Sha looks even more dangerous and treacherous when paired with a royal attire, making people tremble in their hearts. No one told us that boss has such a big background. Unknowingly, I became the royal guard of the Emperor Pirates. Third brother and Xiaofeng were stunned. Because of the particularity of Baroque working society. They only found out today that they are actually the subordinates of Lao Sha, the commander of the Imperial Pirates. It's so exciting, isn't it? Hello everyone, I am your president. Baroque Working Group will officially change its name to Jinyiwei starting today. Nico Robin, you continue your mission. Dasbanus, Xiaofeng, Juju, you cadres, follow me. Don't talk nonsense. Lao Sha acted vigorously and took away 10 cadres from 1 to 5 of the Baroque working group on the spot. Robin was left by him to continue studying Cluden. Soldiers are more valuable than their numbers. It's enough for him to bring these few people with him. Although there are many remaining agents, they are all little Karami. It doesn't fit the picture at all. When Crocodile quickly gathered these guys, the spacecraft changed direction non-stop. Enter the new world. Being able to fly is trouble-free, and mobility is simply a qualitative leap. Just ignore terrain obstacles like the calm belt. The speed is so fast that it can cross the sea in half a day. Soon, a group of people arrived at Eagle Eye's hometown. Cricona Island. The ruins of the country's subjugation. Everyone, wait a moment, I'll be back soon. Hawkeye pulled out the black knife and jumped off the spacecraft. After a flash of swords and shadows, he is back with a group of stealing baboons. Among them, the king baboon is an eagle-eyed baboon. A powerful species in the New World, the baboon steals the lesson and has extremely strong learning ability. Lao Sha looked strange. He never expected that Hawkeye would do this. Just bring the baboons over to be strong men. So good at playing. Look, that baboon has the same shape as Hawkeye. The eagle-eyed baboon is the king of baboons, with an exceptionally tall and conspicuous figure. The moment everyone saw it, they almost laughed. This is a 99% restoration degree. It's so much fun. But soon, they stopped laughing. I saw the baboons 1.9 quickly organizing their body movements and clothing. Except for the oppressive boss and Ka. Fujitora baboons, Laosha baboons, Ace baboons, Blackbeard baboons, Bado baboons, all of them. Does a baboon steal even its costumes? Lao Sha twitched the corner of his mouth when he looked at the baboon who looked exactly like him, wearing a cigar and making a bad face. Did your mother ever tell you that it's rude to imitate others? Lao Sha, who had blue veins popping out on his forehead, immediately wanted to suck up the baboon that was imitating him. A black knife lay in front of him. Hawkeye, are you going to attack your companions? Well, baboons are companions, too. These are the backbone and cornerstone of his Imperial army. 64 Everyone's attention. The clash of the strongest men. First update. Advertise here. Companion. You mean these baboons? Lao Sha's face was full of doubts about life, and he looked at the eagle eyes in disbelief. That's right, they are them, my royal guards. Hawkeye's eyes were sharp and showed no intention of giving in. Well, you are awesome and you have the final say. After a few seconds of confrontation, Lao Sha gave up the idea of squeezing out the baboon who pretended to be himself regardless of life and death. The other party's eldest brother can't be offended. Ooh, the baboons cheered. Even while bowing to Hawkeye, Feng teased Lao Piansha. This made Lao Sha even more angry. He simply turned his back and hid in the house. Hey, boss's status here doesn't seem to be very high. Seeing everything in his eyes, the third brother poked Dazuboni and whispered. Unexpectedly, the mysterious and powerful boss can't even deal with baboons. This world is too crazy. There is no way, they are all big shots. It is already very powerful for boss to become the commander of an army. Dazboni spread his hands helplessly. Lao Sha is very awesome. But the problem is that the most important thing here is awesomeness. Hawkeye, Fujitora, Ace, Blackbeard, Badr, and Jinbei and Enel on Sky Island. The Imperial pirates have become a snowball that is getting bigger and bigger. The momentum is unstoppable. They are caught up in it, and their destiny is destined to undergo earth-shaking changes. Right. The third brother nodded in agreement. There are too many big names. Guys you usually only see in newspapers gather here. I advise you to better abide by the law in the future. Mr. Fujitora, the minister of Dali Temple, has just made some laws. If you violate it, you will suffer. After understanding the situation, Xiaofeng came back and gave some advice to several people. Fujitora's powerful combat power. His laws may not even be violated by Hawkeye and Ka. Not to mention them little Karami. The dog-headed guillotine really doesn't play around with you. On the other side, everyone in the army was also whispering to each other. Marshal Ace, the forces on the ship are becoming more and more complicated now. Blackbeard couldn't help but feel worried. With his mind, he couldn't see the factional issues within the Emperor Pirates. The 6 departments of the Sea, Land and Air Force, Royal Forest Army, Jin Yiwei, and Dali Temple all only listen to and cause orders and refuse to accept any of them. The Imperial Guard has the power of supervision. Dali Temple has the right to impose penalties. In the long run, this will inevitably evolve into a faction. But this situation is countless times better than the Rocks Pirate situation. The people in Rocks Pirate are ambitious, but everyone here is obsessed with Nka and restrains each other. Control so many overlords to your advantage. This is the way to balance the Emperor's mind. The more complex the forces are, doesn't it mean that our pirate group is getting stronger? This is a good thing. Ace didn't understand what Blackbeard meant. Now he has Deus and his team, and Blackbeard and his team, who are also quite powerful. Ace is very satisfied with his current life as a pirate, he is full of energy and enthusiasm. Marshal Ace, don't you know that Fujitora made the law? My emperor is about to embark on the path of clearing his name. He is worthy of being the strongest in 800 years. His ambition can be swallowed up. You must abide by Fujitora's laws in the future, otherwise he will be justified in teaching you. Ace understands this. Blackbeard asked him to restrain himself and not to be careless when doing things in the future. Doesn't that mean you can't have overlord meal? The old blind man's observation haki is so strong that any illegal or disorderly behavior cannot escape the other party's perception. And he can't beat the other party. Oh no. Thinking of this, Ace only felt that his life was gloomy. It's also good, justice, benevolence, evil, tyranny, harnessing so many forces at the same time. My emperor is truly a great hero. So much better than Whitebeard. After seeing the Emperor pirates with his own eyes, Blackbeard felt more and more that it was the right decision for him to leave the Whitebeard pirates. Compared to the aging Whitebeard, how wonderful it is to follow such a generation of overlords. Whitebeard, that guy's title as the strongest man will soon belong to my emperor. Speaking of Whitebeard, Ace is also full of fighting spirit. This confrontation is a storm sweeping the world. The storm has been brewing for too long. Please give me flowers, 0. Its outbreak must be unprecedented. It will stir up everyone's fate. The battle between Nka and Whitebeard attracts everyone's attention. Marshal Ace, Whitebeard territory has arrived. Navigator Deus spoke to remind. His current position is rather awkward. As an army member, he is in charge of the Air Force's affairs, which makes the Army's flight combat capability even more ridiculous than that of the Air Force. Air Marshal Enel also asked Nka for this lion fruit ability user more than once. But Ace never let go. Whitebeard's territory has arrived. Go and report to our Emperor. Immediately ordered Lafitte to report the news. Blackbeard has no habit of acting without permission, even after joining the Emperor pirates. No need, it's just Whitebeard, there is no need for our Emperor to take action. Ace smiled lightly and stopped a few people. There seemed to be blazing flames in his eyes. He wants to deal with Whitebeard. Take Whitebeard's head to promote the name of the Emperor. That's right, just leave this little thing to us. Hawkeye carrying a black knife appeared next to several people at some unknown time. The terrifying sharp sword energy and aggressive fighting spirit are unabashed. I just joined the Emperor pirates, and I need a certificate of nomination. Fujitora also appeared next to everyone with a cane and a sword. The unfathomable aura on his body is as deep as the abyss and the sea, which is no less than that of the eagle eye. Old man Whitebeard, it's time to take revenge and chop off his head. Lao Sha, who hates Whitebeard the most, is ready to attack. One by one sandstorm was thrown out without hesitation. Phew, foo, are you going to do something big as soon as you join? It's so exciting. Doflamingo licked his lips with his scarlet tongue, showing a greedy and crazy smile, eager to try. All the officers of the Imperial pirates have come forward. They plan to deal with Whitebeard before the Emperor wakes up from his nap. Ha 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 ha, it's time for me to end my relationship with Whitebeard. I feel guilty for killing Saki. Infected by the enthusiastic emotions of so many people, Blackbeard also laughed wildly. And Nka at this time. Still lying in bed having sweet dreams. 65 How dare you disturb my Emperor's sleep. Second update. Advertise here. Nka had a sweet dream. I dreamed that after taking a nap, my brothers took care of Whitebeard. It would be best if he didn't have to face Whitebeard. And Bartolomeo was sleeping on the sofa. Even if he fell asleep, this guy didn't forget to pull out his knife and summon a barrier to protect him, with 3 layers inside and 3 outside. This is also the main reason why Nka can sleep so sweetly. The guards with swords in front of the Emperor are really reliable. Army attack. I'm sleeping soundly here, but there's already a lot of gunfire over there. Eagle Claw Extreme Night. Hawkeye muttered something silently in his mind, and drew a semicircle with the black knife in his hand. The huge sword energy that seemed to cut the world apart swept out, but it was actually just a test attack. The first shot of the attack was fired. There is an enemy attack. 620 inches, the crown skull is the flag of the Emperor pirates. Why are they in heaven? Being caught off guard, the members of the Whitebeard pirates panicked. Looking at the exaggerated sword energy that seemed to cut the world in half, everyone looked desperate. That's the best slash in the world. Quick, dock and log into the nearest island. The captain of the first team, Phoenix Marco, quickly organized a counterattack and issued orders. The enemies are flying in the sky and they are on the sea. This is a huge disadvantage. The other side is so high up that even their cannonballs can't hit it. Look at me. Diamond Josie stepped up. The diamond fruit ability is activated, his whole body turns into diamond, and he appears in midair. His devil fruit ability can be described as the swordsman's nemesis. The physical body is countless times harder than a sword. Hitting him with a knife was like hitting an egg on a stone. If anyone in the Whitebeard pirates can stand up to Hawkeye, he is the one with the best diamond bridge. Boom. The sword energy that seemed to cut the world in half was blocked by the diamond, and the two collided, emitting fierce sparks. After a long stalemate, Tuzi used all his strength to throw his sword energy into the sky. Yes, even he can't do the world's best slash head-on, he can only bounce it away. Hawkeye just hit him casually, and Chao Zi was already sweating profusely. Not good. Whitebeard, who was in the process of infusion, suddenly broke away from the needles all over his body. In his future seeing observation haki. Seconds in the future. The entire Moby Dick was suppressed to the bottom of the sea by invisible forces. Almost instantly, Whitebeard's eyes locked on the blind swordsman holding the staff sword. Fresh face. But his intuition told him that this was a tough one. Naval battles are extremely unfavorable. The opponent uses high ground to defeat low ground, and can sink one's own side if one is not careful. If you want to reverse the situation, you can only replace it with poetry. Where is Anka? Let Anka come out and see me. Whitebeard roared angrily and punched out hard, cracking the air. The terrifying earthquake shock wave headed straight for Fujitora. He wants to interrupt the opponent's moves before the opponent sinks his pirate ship in the future. Already see the future. The strongest man. Sensing the attack coming towards him, Fujitora swung his staff sword unhurriedly. The other party could foresee the future, and so could he. Gravity knife. Tiger. The horizontal gravity encircled the sword energy and slashed out, and the pressure from all directions gathered at one point. Being hit directly by this blow would make even Ace temporarily faint. Gravity suppresses, the Tao is incomparable. Boom. Earthquake shock waves and gravity collide violently. There was a stalemate for a while. And at this moment, the fishman Namuel had already pushed the Moby Dick to the land. Want to see my emperor? You're not qualified yet, Wei. Ha 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 ha. My lord Anka is still sleeping. If I were woken up by you, an old man, I would feel very derelict in my duty. The person the Whitebeard pirates least want to see appears. Blackbeard, Marshal D. Teach. Beside him are the four villains. Lafitte, Van Oka, Badgers, and Poison Q. Teach. Damn it, you dare to kill your comrades and join the enemy. I can't forgive you. After what happened, all the members of the Whitebeard pirates wanted to eat Blackbeard alive. Marco attacked even more brazenly, and the phoenix shot out with a brilliant tail. A sharp kick went straight to Blackbeard's face. This kick is for Blackbeard's life. To take action against my subordinates, you have to get through me first. Fire punch. Exploding flames impacted, and a blue figure firmly blocked Marco. It's Ace who has activated his second gear. Entei. Ace. Being entangled and unable to escape, Marco also gave up the idea of attacking Blackbeard. He knew he had met a powerful enemy. The opponent's flame has a high temperature far beyond ordinary flames, and can even burn his blue phoenix flame. It's like gangrene attached to the bone. Even if it's stained a little, you can't shake it off. Teach, every one of my sons is my pride. Except you. You have violated the iron law not to kill your companions. And you defected to the enemy, you bastard who was just a seller seeking glory, I misjudged you. Whitebeard, who was wrestling with Fujitora, spoke in a cold tone, making no secret of his murderous intent. What could be more distressing for an old father than his sons killing each other? Ha 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 ha. Dad, you're done. You and your pirate group will be finished today. I will live well and inherit all your inheritance. Eat every inch of your flesh and blood. Seizing the moment when Whitebeard and Fujitora were wrestling and unable to escape, Blackbeard 4.0 became arrogant to the extreme and started provoking crazily. Of course some people can't stand him being so arrogant. Teach, you bastard. Diamond Chowzi, who was like a mad bull, rushed over angrily. But the next moment, his figure came to an abrupt halt. Like a fly stuck in a spider web. Phew, foo, what's wrong? Diamond Joey. Doflamingo appeared on Chowzi's back with an evil smile on his face. Dudu's shoes stepped on his head hard. This kind of big guy with weak observation hockey and full attack and defense attributes is nothing more than his toy. How dare you disturb our emperor's sleep? Old man Whitebeard, this is the cause of your death. Lao Sha, who has a mortal feud with Whitebeard, has even convicted Whitebeard. The crime of disturbing the emperor and cause sleep. 0.66 Destroy everything. An overwhelming advantage. Third update. Advertise here. These guys really don't even have the desire to take action. The eagle's sharp eyes scanned the entire audience. Except Whitebeard. In other words, only Beasta, the strongest swordsman of the Whitebeard pirates, can barely give him a fighting spirit. Forget it, just play with each other. The world's strongest swordsman, Mahawk. Anyone who is a swordsman can't help but want to fight him. This is the so-called sword field instinct. Beasta target is also a Hawkeye. The two of them are in agreement in this respect. Rose sword technique. Pieces of rose petals and sword energy rose into a ball. In the eyes of Hawkeye, Beasta's moves are just fancy but useless. Hawkeye is ready to show the opponent the real swordsmanship. The black sword groaned softly, and cut out a dark green sword light amidst the melodious sound of the sword. The moment the sword light came into contact with the rain of rose petals. Defeating the rose sword chi like a beast. It headed straight towards Beasta without losing momentum. Sonorous. Beasta blocked with both swords, veins popped out on his forehead, and used his skill to deflect the attack away. Hawkeye 23, a mediocre normal attack. It's hard for Beasta to resist. Rumble. The other side. The rivalry between Fujitora and Whitebeard continues. The two were in a stalemate for a long time, and the situation became increasingly tense. The terrifying gravity and destructive shock waves seemed to destroy the world. But Whitebeard is old and frail after all, and he is already a little unable to fight against Fujitora who is in his prime. What's more, Lao Sha wants to launch a sneak attack. Heavy Shalon. The roaring sandstorm gathered in my hand, but I didn't have time to throw it out. A meteor hammer with eyes and mouth hit Lao Sha hard. Careful. Dasboni, who had the ability of the quick slash fruit, quickly stood in front of Lao Sha, turning his hands into steel knives to intercept the attack. But as a man of steel, he was hit by a meteor hammer and blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. TCH, Captain of the 7th Division, Lark Yao. 1. Stand down, you are no match for him. Lao Sha was not angry even after his spellcasting was interrupted, but now he has changed his mind. He wants to kill the sons who he treasures so much in front of Whitebeard. Only then can he relieve the hatred in his heart. Follow your command and lead. Da Zian followed the advice. This level was indeed not something he could touch. Da Zuboni and his third brother Xiao Feng went to fight against the division captains at the back. With their current strength, they can barely cope with a few fighting one by one. The eagle-eyed baboons are so awesome. Just catch the crew members of the Whitebeard pirates and give them a beating. Hawkeye Baboon is even able to fight back and forth with Fosa, the captain of the 15th Division of the Whitebeard pirates, with no difference in victory or defeat. Thief ha 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 ha, thief ha 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 ha. Chao Zi, your abilities are pretty good too. The diamond fruit is mine now. Blackbeard smiled evilly and walked up to Chao Zi and stretched out his salty pig's trotters. Brother Ming sat elegantly on Chao Zi's back. The style of the two of them is so evil. A control, a stripping. He was controlled by Brother Ming and couldn't move, so Blackbeard could touch him, and his fruit ability was gone. Chao Zi really suffered a lot. The war has reached this point. Half of Moby Dick has been captured by the Emperor pirates. This is an overwhelming advantage. Asshole Teach, let go of Chao Zi. Naturally, the captains could not remain indifferent and came to rescue Chao Zi one after another. Captain of the 6th Division, Bramank has the ability to carry many fruits. Captain of Division 9, Blenheim. Captain of the 11th Squadron, Jin Guduo. Captain of Division 12, Halta. Captain of the 13th Division, Buffalo. 5 great pirates with a bounty of over 100 million. Big names in the new world. Ah, save Chao Zi. Is it just because of you guys? Blackbeard twisted his eyebrows and put on a super unbeatable expression. All the squad leaders are super hot. Several people couldn't help but rush over with murderous intent. Don't worry, boss, I'll stop them. Badgers blocked Team 9 Captain Blenheim, who was also a strong player. Swordsman Lafitte fights against Halta, captain of the 12th Division who is also a swordsman. Ming Ji's younger brother Diamandi fights against the captain of the 6th Division, Bramank, who has the baggage ability. The ability of the flying fruit is even more advanced than that of the bag fruit to a certain extent. Diamandi suppressed the opponent as soon as they fought. Jin Guduo, the captain of the 11th Squadron, was blocked by Hawkeye's stealing baboons. Only the captain of Division 13, Buffalo, did not move. Foofofoof, Buffalo, what's wrong? Doflamingo's eyes gradually became playful. His palms were like chicken claws as he manipulated the string dolls. Brush. The sword flashed past. The big knife in the buffalo's hand pierced Jin Guduo's body fiercely. Buffalo, what are you doing? Jin Guduo looked behind him in confusion. He couldn't believe that the person who stabbed him in the back was actually a good brother who had been with him for decades. Jingu Duo, I'm sorry. I can't control my body anymore, kill me. Kill me. The buffalo burst into tears and watched helplessly as the big knife in his other hand was swung out. He directly stabbed Jin Guduo on the shoulder. The baboons who stole the opportunity seized the opportunity and swarmed up, beating the captain until he lost 983 combat effectiveness. It's really bad. Ha 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 ha. Blackbeard secretly ignored Brother Ming and became more and more afraid of this guy. Play with people's hearts and make your opponents collapse in battle. This is more pervert than what he played. But Chao Zi, after we have been together for so many years, I am really reluctant to do anything to you. Poison Q, come here to help. Doflamingo, control him, don't let him move. Blackbeard greeted Poison Q and Brother Ming. The three of them are ready to operate Chao Zi. I know, boss. The dying Poison Q covered Blackbeard and Chao Zi with a big black cloth. Although Doflamingo didn't know what Blackbeard was up to, he still used Parasite String to help him. Asshole Teach, what are you going to do to Chao Zi? Seeing Blackbeard and Brother Ming about to torture Chao Zi, Marco was in tears. You're distracted. Orange peel, fire prison clothes. There is a flaw. Showing such an obvious flaw in front of the fighting genius ace, isn't that asking for a fight? Orange flames enveloped Marco like shackles, binding him like a flame garment while causing a lot of damage. Marco suddenly screamed. Ah, .67 that adult is still sleeping. Whitebeard is furious with remaining blood. 4th update. Advertise here. What happened? Why is it so noisy outside? And Ka opened his eyes drowsily. The sound of gunfire, sword roar, strength and shock fruit sound effects. Various noisy sounds woke him up from his sweet sleep. So annoying. It's nothing. My emperor, please continue to sleep. Sir Hawkeye and Mr. Fujitora are taking care of you outside. There is no cure. Bartolomeo wisely added a few layers of barriers to block out the noise. At the same time, he roared with rage in his heart. What a bunch of bastards, how dare you wake up his emperor from his sleep? Simply unforgivable. Okay. By the way, remember to call me when you get to Whitebeard's territory. I'll go to bed first. With Hawkeye and Fujitora taking care of her outside, and Ka feels very relieved. If there's a situation they can't resolve, then there's no point in showing up on your own. He simply closed his eyes and fell asleep again. Yes, my emperor, I will call you when we reach the territory of the Whitebeard pirates. Bartolomeo smiled innocently. But I am very excited in my heart. Little Whitebeard will call you when he is killed. Inside, and Ka slept like a ghost, but outside it was already dark and the sky was dark. Fire prison clothes. This move is the strongest single target move developed by Ace after turning on the second gear. The terrifying 1000-degree heat is wrapped around the enemy like clothes, making it impossible to get rid of them. Ordinary people will be burned to ashes in an instant. As for Marco the Phoenix, he would be tortured by the flames to the point of death, and he would not be able to die. The high-temperature flames seemed to be burning his soul, making Marco miserable. Intense pain. It even gave him the urge to die, but as a Phoenix fruit user, he couldn't die even if he wanted to. Josie, Marco, Beasta was shocked. Because of the panic, there were also flaws in the swordsmanship in his hands. You dare to be distracted when facing me, you really don't know how to write the word, death. In an instant, Hawkeye appeared behind Beasta. Slowly put away the black sword Yi. Fast, too fast. It was so fast that Beasta's body didn't realize that he had been chopped. The two swords in Beasta's hands shattered. In battles between swordsmen, armament hockey needs to be used to wrap and protect the sword at all times. Even if it is a competition of swordsmanship, it is also a competition of hockey. Because of the negligence at that moment, let Hawkeye catch the flaw and directly chop Beasta's swords into pieces. The sword is the swordsman's wife. The sword is the lifeblood. Losing your sword is more painful than losing your life. My sword. Beasta's eyes were blank, and the belief in his heart collapsed at this moment. At the same time, a huge wound appeared on his chest that almost cut his body in half. Blood surges like a fountain. Boom. Beasta fell to the ground on the spot, not knowing whether he was alive or dead. Josie, Marco, Beasta, my sons. Whitebeard, who was wrestling with Fujitora, also lost his mind and fell into a disadvantage. This terrible chain reaction makes the already shaky situation of the Whitebeard pirates even more precarious. Boom. Suddenly, Whitebeard's figure trembled, his body softened, he knelt down and gave Fujitora a big gift. His old habit is back. In combat, this situation is undoubtedly fatal. If it were a Kainu, a dark hound would have hit him right now. Fortunately, Whitebeard faced the gentleman Fujitora. The strongest man, you have already lost. Fujitora put away the knife in time and quietly looked at Whitebeard, who was kneeling on the ground and gasping for air. He didn't go up to finish the shot. He can't do this by hurting an enemy who has no power to resist and taking advantage of someone's danger. Yes, we have already lost. Whitebeard raised his eyes with difficulty, trying not to let his heavy eyelids close. Wherever he looked, the Whitebeard pirates were defeated. His sons were killed and injured. It made Whitebeard so heartbroken that he couldn't breathe. What an injustice. He never said anything about being an enemy of Nka. It's all nonsense from that newspaper. Why does this happen? At this moment, Whitebeard wanted to cut Morgans into pieces. At the same time, Whitebeard also made a decision. Let him risk his life. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. With his last breath, Whitebeard moved. He forced himself to overdraw his life force. Regardless of the outcome of this battle, his life has come to an end. Whitebeard's body shot out, and the target was Blackbeard, who was currently executing Chowzi. Fujitora was appropriately disconnected. To be honest, Fujitora was very unhappy when he saw Blackbeard. He might feel better if Whitebeard beat up the fat man. Moreover, Whitebeard's current state is a reflection of his past, and he is destined not to survive. Fujitora decided to generously give up his head to Blackbeard. Hawkeye has no intention of stopping Whitebeard. He has already knocked down Beasta, and the rest is left to Blackbeard. He believes Blackbeard can handle it calmly. Compared with the menacing Whitebeard, clearing the mobs and guiding his baboon army is more important. Hawkeye came directly to the side of Hawkeye, Baboon and Fosa, and leisurely watched the two swordsmanship competition. And the other side, Blackbeard is in trouble. Whitebeard, who doesn't want to live anymore, is like a trapped beast fighting, and he has to support him even if he dies. And Blackbeard killed Thatch again, violating the iron rule of the Whitebeard pirates. The seller wanted glory and was planning to kill Chowzi. Stacking this set of buffs will directly increase Beard's hatred value. I don't know what happened, but Doflamingo's right eyelid twitched wildly. Turn around and look. Oh my god, why did Whitebeard come here to kill him? Where is Fujitora? Where is Hawkeye? Why didn't anyone stop him? Brother, I'm leaving first. Without any hesitation, Doflamingo directly threw Blackbeard and transformed into Spider-Man and took off on the spot. The furious Whitebeard is comparable to a humanoid nuclear bomb. He must be as far away as possible. His life is at stake. Boss, stop working so hard. If you don't run away, it will be too late. Duque felt that he had done his best to risk death by speaking out. In this moment, he had already fled far away on his powerful Pegasus. What's going on? Brother Ming, what are you doing? Why did Chaozi suddenly burst open? Inside the black cloth, Blackbeard's confused voice sounded. The next moment, the black cloth covering the two people was lifted up. 68 Blackbeard was beaten into a dog. First update. Advertise here. Blackbeard, who was about to stab his heart with a dagger, suddenly discovered that Chaozi was free. And he also gave him a big competition. What happened? Wasn't Chaozi controlled by Brother Ming? Why is this guy suddenly able to move? The sudden resistance from the fish on the chopping board caught Blackbeard off guard. Under Chaozi's strong wrist strength, the damage caused by Tiandalang exploded directly. Slapping Blackbeard made stars pop out of his eyes and several of his teeth flew out. If it weren't for his amazing physical fitness as a martial arts expert, this blow would have almost killed Blackbeard instantly. But that's not the worst. What makes Blackbeard even more desperate is the black cloth was lifted, and in a daze, the murderous Whitebeard was staring at him. This must be a dream. It's a nightmare! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Is there anything more terrifying than this? There was a moment. Blackbeard was so scared that his heart stopped. Teach. Whitebeard smiled a kind and loving smile. The big hands are like iron pliers, grabbing Blackbeard's ugly head. Chaozi, go save Beasta and Marco. A terrifying milky white halo appeared in Whitebeard's hand, which was the condensing shock wave condensing. Whitebeard is really murderous. He loves each of his sons deeply, so he will never forgive D for what he did. He wants to give Saki an explanation. I know, Dad. Chaozi, who was rescued, did not stop either. He also knew that the current situation was not optimistic. Beasta has been defeated and he doesn't know whether he will live or die, but Marco is still alive and it would be better to die. With his huge body and lightning speed, Josie quickly rescued the Kingudo buffalo and Beasta, and then went to aid Marco. Daddy, I am your son, Daddy. Blackbeard, who was grabbed by Whitebeard like a chicken, tried to awaken his father's love. But father's love is like a mountain falling apart. It's more than enough to shock him to death. Pung. A gunshot. The bullet went straight into Whitebeard's eyes at a cunning and vicious angle. Pung. Another gunshot. Another bullet goes straight to that bullet, ready to pull off an incredible aerial interception. Boom. The two bullets collided in the air, and the latter easily shattered the former without losing momentum. Directly blasted the gun in Fan Oka's hand. That's right, it was Van Oka who just took a cold shot at Whitebeard. Hockey bullet. My love gun. Thin beads of cold sweat oozed from Fan Oka's forehead. As a sniper, having your gun exploded by someone else is simply a shame. But the opponent knows hockey. The power of hockey bullets is too powerful. He has never been to the New World and has not mastered the power of hockey, so he was at a disadvantage in the sniper confrontation. When it comes to marksmanship alone, Fan Oka is confident that he is definitely superior to his opponents. How dare you shoot a cold arrow at Dad? Get through me first. Izo blew on the smoke coming out of his pistol. It was he who intercepted Fan Oka's bullet. Armament hockey is extremely advanced and has mastered the use of emission. Even if he uses a pistol, he can still have the upper hand in a sniper rifle duel with a sniper. And smash the opponent's guns. Difficult. Forced to face off against Izo, Fan Oka instantly felt trapped. At the same time, Teach, you are the only one who is unforgivable. Whitebeard's eyes narrowed slightly because of Van Oka's interference. He did not show mercy because of Blackbeard's plea for mercy, and the shock fruit ability was activated. The shock wave in his hand suddenly erupted. The terrifying earthquake was compressed to the size of a palm, preparing to give Blackbeard a concussion on his head. At this critical moment, Blackbeard's palm touched Whitebeard. The terrifying shock wave disappeared without a trace in an instant. Shock fruit's ability is gone. Even Whitebeard was distracted for a moment. What happened? What happened to the shock fruit ability that has been with me for decades? At this moment, even the strongest man Whitebeard was a little panicked. Losing ability is definitely the most terrifying and helpless thing for a person with abilities. Ha 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 ha. You feel it, Dad. Am I unable to activate the shock fruit ability? That's right, this is the ability I got from killing Sage. Known as the most vicious devil fruit in history. Dark fruit. As long as you are touched by my palm, all abilities will be lost. After touching Whitebeard, Blackbeard changed his panic look and became arrogant instantly. What is face? This is face. Dark fruit gave him confidence. And this guy doesn't even open or lift any pot. He pulled the dead thatch out of the whipping corpse many times, which made Whitebeard so angry that his eyes turned red. You are so arrogant, Teach. This is your weakness. Since he couldn't activate his ability, Whitebeard simply raised his sword and chopped it down. The jet black armament hockey has a blade attached to it. Cold light and murderous intent. The huge Kong Yunchi slashed at Blackbeard, and Lao Bai's angry blow almost split Blackbeard in half. The horrific wounds almost ran through the entire body. This knife is harder than the one that Hawkeye slashed at Zoro. Ah! Blackbeard screamed like a slaughtering pig on the spot. The pain of the body almost being torn apart. After the side effects of dark fruit were magnified several times, Blackbeard almost fainted from pain. He has tried his best to defend with armament hockey. The body that has been tempered for thousands of times has also suffered a devastating blow. Whitebeard's hockey and Moshien's strength both crush him, and it's not easy to break through the defense. Bragging. The sound of broken glass sounded. It was the sound effect of shock fruit. Whitebeard hit Blackbeard in the abdomen with another seismic punch. Because of the pain, Blackbeard gave up, which also caused Whitebeard's shock fruit ability to come back. Such a useless ability is actually worth killing Sage. Whitebeard was a little puzzled and at the same time even more angry. As long as it is not touched, Blackbeard's abilities are ineffective. For such a devil fruit, Blackbeard actually killed his most precious family members. Simply unforgivable. Blackbeard was hit hard in the abdomen and felt like his internal organs were shattered. A fountain that sprays blood for free. The whole person is broken. The intense pain caused him to faint on the spot. He was beaten directly into a dog. And it's still a dead dog. 69 Third Gear Ace vs Dad, Father is kind and Son is filial. Second update. Advertise here. Blackbeard. Hateful. If there was anyone present besides the 4 Vanoka who cared about Blackbeard's life and death on the spot, it was Ace. A field marshal would never sit back and watch his deputy marshal being beaten to death. Orange peel. Fire fist. The raging flames seemed to burn everything, and the high temperature of thousands of degrees caused the surrounding air to begin to deform. The soldiers are already feeling very uncomfortable. The flames are transforming this place into a forbidden zone unfit for survival. This is what is called the force of nature. In front of nature, human beings are so insignificant. Bang! A heavy punch was thrown out. The world seems like a broken mirror. From an objective perspective, earthquakes are also forces of nature. Although it is not as aggressive as flames, its devastating destructive power is even better. Whitebeard is a veteran who has experienced many battles. Once the two come into contact, make a decision. Suppression. Undetermined suppression. The terrifying shock wave is mixed with the emission armament hockey, and the killing flames are retreating steadily. That does not work. Take Blackbeard 373 to treatment first. Ace gritted his teeth and resisted Whitebeard's attack with difficulty. With one kick, Blackbeard, who was like a dead dog, was kicked away and into the arms of Poison Q. Poison Q didn't hesitate and immediately carried Xiao Haitzi to Fujitora's side for first aid. Only around the big boss is the safe area. Kid, you will regret it. Blackbeard was rescued, and Whitebeard was also angry. He was thinking about the probability of quickly defeating Ace and then killing Blackbeard Teach. But it is tragic and desperate to find that this probability is infinitely close to zero. Because he now has to go through 2 levels of Ace Fujitora before he can kill Blackbeard, but in his current weak state, it is simply impossible to do it. Since the reckless kid in front of me made it impossible for me to kill Teach to pay homage to Saki. Then let this brat bear his own anger. Bang! The world seems like a broken mirror. The atmosphere was cracked inch by inch, making a crisp shattering sound. Whitebeard integrates the shock fruit ability into the weapon, which is cut from the clouds and wrapped in a milky white halo. The shock wave explodes using the blade, CDCF, as the medium. The terrifying power that destroyed the world instantly destroyed Ace's stubborn resistance. The boy's figure flew out upside down. Pung! Falling hard to the ground. Cough cough. After lying on the ground and coughing out 2 mouthfuls of blood, Ace got up again and stood in front of Whitebeard. Fujitora's full state general can kill him instantly. But Whitebeard, who currently has only half health, can't do it. After all, this old man doesn't even have the strength to activate Conqueror's entanglement. The temperature of the flame must be higher. Higher temperatures mean burning higher energy fuels. Think Ace, what else do you have to burn? Ace's brain is running fast. But Whitebeard wouldn't give him a chance to think, as Yunchi wrapped shock fruit and flowed armament hockey. Draw a half-moon line and chop it down hard. Boom. At the moment of crisis, Ace's potential exploded, as if he suddenly saw the future, and narrowly escaped this blow. This scene is similar to the scene in Summit War where Luffy saw his future self having his hands chopped off by Hawkeye. Yes, emission. Burning armament hockey doubles the temperature of my flame to 1,000 degrees. But if the burning armament hockey is more advanced and pure, the temperature of the flame will definitely increase accordingly. As long as I master emission armament hockey, I can break through the shackles again and become stronger. Kong Yunchi's highly destructive emission/inspired ace. Armament hockey is the best fuel for fire. So to improve the quality of your own armament hockey, isn't it just to increase the temperature of the flame? Thinking of this, Ace slowly closed his eyes and began to feel it with his heart. As a hockey genius who can master armament hockey in one day, Roger's bloodline. With his talent and accomplishments, it is not impossible to break through the flow of babies. You little brat. Don't underestimate Lousy. This look naturally made his opponent Whitebeard furious. A junior actually used the battlefield as a training ground and realized hockey in front of himself. I really pretend I don't exist. Hoo ho ho. The dancing tigers and tigers in the clouds create wind. Emission armament hockey and shock fruit abilities are fully charged. The use of armament hockey is essential to deal with Logia ability users. Therefore, every attack of Whitebeard is mixed with the advanced weapon color, emission. This also helped Ace gain better perception and understanding. Enlightened. Every attack from Whitebeard was narrowly avoided by Ace. Finally, Ace opened his eyes, and sharp light burst out. At this moment, his armament hockey begins to flow. A confident smile rose from the corner of his mouth. The raging flames melted like ice and snow, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Enter. Third gear. With the boy's words, the extinguished flame was rekindled. But this time, it's golden flames. Burning and flowing armament hockey, a flame fueled by emission. The temperature reached a terrifying 1,300 degrees. Together, Ace's hair and eyebrows have turned blonde. Golden flame clouds even appeared on the shoulders. Whitebeard, your death has come. Golden fire dragon. In the third gear, Ace's strength has far surpassed that of the deputy, reaching a bounty of 1.9 billion. The combat power has reached the top Shichibukai, Admiral candidate level. The golden flame fueled by emission burns brighter. With a few moves, two huge flame dragons stepped out, heading straight for Whitebeard and throwing him away. Emission weapon color. Golden flame. What happened? Why did this kid suddenly become so strong? Confused, Whitebeard quickly increased his output and squandered the shock wave like crazy. This is simply unbelievable. Mastered the emission armament hockey in the battle with himself, and developed evil to a higher level. Who is this kid? Whitebeard stared intently at Ace's face. Suddenly, I had an outrageous guess in my mind. The look of this guy. Isn't this what Roger looked like when he was young? He looks exactly like young Roger without any nose hair. He can't be Roger's son. Even hockey's talent is the same and so exaggerated. 0.70 Roger has to explain everything here when he comes. Third update. Advertise here. Roger, I didn't expect you still have blood in your blood. Follow the Emperor and Ka. It is indeed a good road. Whitebeard's eyes became complicated, and his expression recalled, but only for a short moment. The current situation of the Whitebeard pirates can be described as a desperate situation. There is no room for him to be distracted anymore. Hawkeye and Fujitora are tough enough. Now comes another third speed ace. The battle continues till now. The two sides have fought from the sea to the ship and then to the island. The captain of the Whitebeard pirates stationed on this island has long since escaped. For those captains who usually received favors from Whitebeard, only a few people from the Ice Witch Whitebeard came to support them. Adversity reveals one's heart, but Whitebeard doesn't blame them. It's understandable that they don't want to come and die in a certain death situation. In just a few breaths, Whitebeard made his decision. Bang! Shock fruit bursts with power. The world is broken and turned upside down. The punch hit the air. He used all his strength to attack Ace and temporarily forced him back. Whitebeard held the Konganshi and his body exploded out, knocking back Diamandi and the others, giving the Whitebeard pirate team captains a chance to escape. Bang! Another slash came out, and the rich white halo contained all-consuming power. Go straight to the stealing baboons. At this time, the Hawkeye baboon was having a good fight with Fosa, the captain of the 15th division of the Whitebeard pirates. In a short time, it mastered Fosa's sword skills to the extreme, making this guy doubt his life. The learning ability of baboons is simply terrifying. The eagle-eyed baboon was fighting fiercely with Fosa when suddenly a chill ran down his back. I turned around and saw that it was Whitebeard who was conducting a sneak attack. But Hawkeye, who was skimming the formation next to him, could not remain indifferent. He pulled out his black sword and lightly blocked the attack. Fosa also took the opportunity to escape. Sand crocodile. After rescuing Fosa, Whitebeard was not idle for a moment. He rushed behind Lao Sha non-stop, walking across the battlefield as if he was in an uninhabited land. At this time, Lao Sha was still fighting fiercely with Lakyu, and he kept making taunts while gaining the upper hand. Obviously, as the veteran of the Whitebeard pirates, Rakuyo knew the secret behind Lao Sha's challenge to Whitebeard. A big hand unexpectedly appeared on the back of Lao Sha's head. A milky white halo erupted, and strong fingers attached to armament hockey, grabbing Lao Sha's head tightly. What's the situation? There was no time to think about it, and the explosive shock wave suddenly erupted. It gave Lao Sha a concussion. The guy was so shocked that he lost consciousness and the ability to fight on the spot. Whitebeard, who was panting like an ox, had frighteningly red eyes. The overly engorged eyeballs seemed ready to explode. This is the consequence of a serious overdraft of vitality. Dad. Rakyo looked at Whitebeard worriedly. Whitebeard roared again. Knowing that he couldn't resist it, Lakyo could only turn around and leave with tears streaming down his face. Shock fruit ability is activated again. Whitebeard gripped the sword tightly, steadied his horse, and began to accumulate energy, a shocking accumulation of terrifying energy. The target is clearly the Emperor Pirate's spaceship in the sky. There are also Deus Anka and other members of the Emperor Pirates on it. This guy. Fujitora finally moved. The captain's sleep quality is threatened, he cannot remain indifferent. If even Whitebeard wants to disturb and cause sleep. Doesn't it appear that they are too incompetent and derelict in their duties? Bang! The big sword Kong Yunchi suddenly slashed out. Like a slingshot. Throw a violent concussive shock wave. Gravity knife tiger. Fujitora drove gravel to block the front of the spacecraft, and used emission, fruit power and sword energy to intercept Whitebeard's offensive. Now Whitebeard is like a trapped beast fighting to the death, and no one is willing to make trouble. Except for the stubborn Akainu. Brother Ming has already run far away. Bang! Flexing his right arm, his muscles expanded and exerted force, and Whitebeard assumed a classic pose. Shock fruit ability activates. He punched the ground brazenly. The entire island was split into two. A bottomless crack appeared in the middle. Separate Whitebeard and the Emperor pirates from the Whitebeard pirates. Ahead are the Emperor pirates who are watching eagerly. Behind is the bottomless abyss and the suns. Please give me flowers. Whitebeard's figure is extremely tall, old but heroic. The scene is extremely shocking. Run away, sons. This is the captain's last order. Whitebeard's figure grew taller at this moment. All the members of the Whitebeard pirates had tears in their eyes and were sobbing. Dad, this is Marco, who was unable to break free from the fire prison suit and was burned to the point of death. He voluntarily jumped into the sea to put out the fire, and was fished out by Namur. Dad, this is Beasta, whose swords were chopped to pieces by Hawkeye, and whose body was almost split in half. Dad, these are the captains such as Chowzi and Lakyo who were just rescued by Whitebeard. Dad, this is the heartfelt voice of hundreds of Whitebeard pirates members. Everyone has seen Whitebeard's decision, he will stop the entire Emperor pirates alone. Buy time for their retreat. Withdraw, Marco shouted at the top of his lungs. They can't let Dad's efforts go in vain. A group of members of the Whitebeard pirates retreated from the battlefield unwillingly. Ha 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 ha. Dad, you lost completely. The bandaged Blackbeard stood up again. How could he miss such a good show as the death of the world's strongest man? Phew, Fufu, the strongest man. I hope your resistance can be more intense. Ming Jie licked his lips and appeared again. The man with the strongest swordsman wants to try this exciting experience. You bastard is unforgivable. The furious Lao Sha also appeared. He had just suffered a concussion from Whitebeard's blow, and now his vision was still spinning. But his strong willpower made him unwilling to miss the death of his enemy Whitebeard. Blackbeard, Brother Ming, and Lao Sha surrounded Whitebeard. Behind the three people were Dasboni, Diamandi, Lafitte and other younger brothers. As well as third speed ace, Hawkeye, the stealing baboons, and Fujitora floating in the sky. Not to mention the Emperor Ayan, who was always aloof and sitting at the back without even showing his face. Roger has to explain this scene when he comes. 71 and Ka stare Whitebeard to death. First update. Advertise here. Hula la 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 la. Is my journey over? It's great. Such a luxurious funeral is worthy of my journey of ups and downs. When death was imminent, Whitebeard was extremely relieved, and his passion and ambition turned into a breath and he spit it out. Everyone watched this scene quietly. The death of the strongest man in the world. Witnessing this historic scene with my own eyes gives me an indescribable feeling. Where's Nka? Where's Nka, that bastard? Let him come out to me. If Whitebeard has any regrets. That is, I didn't get to see Nka until my death. How frustrating this is. That man destroyed himself and the Whitebeard pirates without even having to step forward. With overwhelming power. It's like cleaning up ants with a 533. How willing is this for the proud Whitebeard? Who the hell is making the noise outside? You're not allowed to sleep anymore. Nka jumped up from the bed in an irritable mood, and his eyes signaled Bador to lift the barrier. After putting on his clothes, he opened the Emperor's domain and teleported directly to the outside deck. As long as there is something under your feet, the Imperial realm can continue to unfold. But after coming outside, Nka was dumbfounded. What's the situation? What happened? Someone tell him what happened. There was continuous artillery fire, ruins and broken walls, and the entire island was divided into two. The Whitebeard pirates left crying. His younger brothers stared at each other eagerly. Louding Whitebeard is a very tragic and heroic man. I am afraid that this scene is not a dream, right? My Emperor, it is really our dereliction of duty to wake you up from your sleep. That's right, we found the headquarters of the Whitebeard pirates half a day ago. But you are still resting, and there is no need for Whitebeard to disturb your sleep. So we took it upon ourselves to start the war. Bartolomeo hurried over and explained. This time Nka understood. That is to say, while you are still sleeping, your brothers have finished everything. Etc. Isn't this the content of your dream? Could it be that you haven't woken up yet? Feeling like a dream, Nka bit the tip of his tongue quietly, it hurt. Not a dream. Hiss. He gasped instantly. I don't blame Nka for being confused. Who wouldn't be confused if this happened to me? You mean, the reason you didn't wake me up was because of something as trivial as Whitebeard? A sense of absurdity came over me. The corner of Nka's mouth twitched unnaturally. If going to war with 4 emperors Whitebeard is a trivial matter. So what else is a big deal? Yes. Bartolomeo nodded calmly. A mere Whitebeard is no longer on the same level as their emperor. Isn't that just a trivial matter? Quote. Aga was silent. By the way, Whitebeard seems to want to see him again. Do you want to come forward? If you stay there all the time, no one will be able to spot you with the conquerors. Are these your last words? That's great. Seeing the end of his enemy Whitebeard, Lao Sha felt extremely happy. If he hadn't just suffered a big blow from Whitebeard, he wouldn't have the strength to attack now. Lao Sha will definitely add insult to injury. Ha 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 ha. Everyone, Whitebeard's body will be handed over to me in a moment. Blackbeard's eyes flashed with greed, and he had already begun to discuss the distribution of Whitebeard's body. That's what he owns. Blackbeard, as the deputy field marshal of the army, is covered by Ace, and he also has a group of capable young men under his command. So you still have the right to speak. Besides, no one cares about Whitebeard's corpse, so it should be given to Blackbeard as a matter of course. I didn't expect you to have some filial piety. Are you collecting the body of your father? Doflamingo teased. Others like jewelry, gold and silver. Even the corpse is required. This guy Blackbeard is really pervert. This hobby of collecting trophies is really unique. Kong Yunchi is mine. Hawkeye said coldly that he was only interested in the supreme sharp knife. Everyone in the Imperial pirates discussed the distribution of Whitebeard's inheritance in front of Whitebeard. Whitebeard's face turned pale, but I have to accept this humiliating fact. People are knives and servants, and I am fish and meat. Golden Sun. Everyone is watching the show, no one is taking the lead. After all, for a dying person, the counterattack will be unimaginably violent. Only the stubborn ace decided to launch the final offensive. The flames rose, and the golden sun slowly rose. The heat waves emanating from it have deformed the air, which is 1,300 degrees high. This is no ordinary flame. Ordinary flames are neither painful nor itchy to ordinary strong people, but this golden fire is different. This is the death charm of Lord Yama. The great pirate with a bounty of over 100 million will die if he catches it. Throat. Kong Yunchi stuck to the ground. Whitebeard steadied his horse, grasped with both hands, holding the air like a curtain. Wolf grabbed it. Suddenly everything was turned upside down. The most powerful move of shock fruit ability. A super concussive shock wave that combines sea, air, and earthquake. Boom. The golden sun collided fiercely with the shock wave. The aftermath of the battle was so strong that almost everything around him was blown away. Except for Fujitora, Hawkeye, Blackbeard and a few others, they were still standing where they were. All the soldiers were cleared immediately. Everyone watched the fight between Ace and Whitebeard with bated breath and rapt attention. Bump. The young man's figure collapsed to the ground. It's Ace. Severely exhausted, he lost 4.5 seconds of consciousness and fell to the ground. Although Whitebeard was standing, he only breathed his last breath. My Emperor has arrived, Bartolomeo shouted, using the barrier fruit ability to create steps. The Emperor wearing a dragon robe and a crown walked down slowly, his sharp and oppressive eyes hitting the soul directly. Sweep to Whitebeard. This look. Time and years seemed to have paused. What an astonishing look. Whitebeard was shocked, and when he saw Nka, his last regret was gone. Just like that, standing there quietly, dead. Gah. The news bird opened its mouth wide and took the picture. The Emperor pirates flew too fast and they just caught up. It didn't see the previous things, it only saw this scene. Emperor Nka, kill Whitebeard with his eyes. .72 The hero kills with his eyes. Explosive appearance. Second update. Advertise here. After Ace and Whitebeard's wave. The exhausted Ace unfortunately lost, while Whitebeard was slightly better. Immediately afterwards, the Emperor Nka appeared, and the two emperors looked at each other in a confrontation of eyes. Nka defeated Whitebeard completely and killed the opponent with his eyes. This is what everyone sees. But what the newsbird saw was even more outrageous. It saw nothing except Nka killing Whitebeard with his eyes. The newsbird that thought Nka could kill Whitebeard with just his eyes is now so shocked that its beak has grown, and its wings are almost stiff with fear. One look has such power. Can you still survive if you glare at yourself? That man is so scary. At the same time, World Economic News Service. Ah, check out Newsbird live. Morgan's jaw dropped to the ground, and his eyes popped out and jumped so high. The reporters' jaws dropped to the floor. Because the Newsbird Chase King Pirates started the live broadcast as soon as they arrived on the battlefield. They could clearly see the wonderful scene of Nka staring Whitebeard to death. What? You mean Ace versus Whitebeard? Is there any? How come we don't know? Oh my god, what did I see? This is not a dream. Gouda. Morgan swallowed hard and was so scared that his voice broke. The world's strongest man Whitebeard. The bounty is as high as 5 billion belly. I was stunned to death by Nka's look. This is so simple, I would never dare to do this in my dreams. Pull. The deputy pulled out a feather from Morgan's, causing the birdman to scream in pain. What are you doing? The feathers on the wings were plucked, which made Morgan's cry. His eyes were red and he even suspected that his deputy was a government agent preparing to attack him. The pain means you are not dreaming. It's all true. The deputy held the feather and said with a smile. Only then did everyone suddenly realize. It's amazing. A reporter said tremblingly, although it is inevitable that Whitebeard will lose. But I didn't expect to lose so easily. The dignified 4 emperors will die under one look. This is big news. Some reporters were so excited that they danced for joy. Of course I know this is big news. Morgans touched the bird's beak and chin and rolled his eyes. Nka, you are really my money tree. No, I should call you emperor from now on. After defeating Whitebeard, Morgan's attitude towards Nka also changed 180 degrees. The former Nka was the newcomer he supported for traffic. Now Nka is a super boss and his backer. That's what the newspapers say. A hero kills with his eyes. Emperor Nka kills Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world, with just one look. Take his place as the 4 emperors. And become the new strongest man. The strongest man in the world, 4 emperors Nka. Morgans was beaming and dancing around as he directed the reporters. The reporters also wrote enthusiastically. It's really cool to completely put yourself in the perspective of Enka, the male protagonist of Shuangwen. Whitebeard is dead. Dead standing. Before he died, there was a smile on his lips. Being able to experience the oppressive feeling of those imperial eyes when death is imminent, this life is worth it. Daddy. The members of the Whitebeard pirates in the distance burst into tears. One by one, they cried for father and mother, bursting into tears. See my emperor. Long live my emperor. The emperor pirates are doing more important things. Pay homage to the emperor. Everyone loves you. And Ka slowly stepped down from the barrier steps and came to the dead Ryuzi. Even in death, this man still stood upright. Famous scenes in anime. Witness Whitebeard's death. It's so shocking. That kind of heroic ambition and tragic desolation. Oops. It's coming out again. Overlord shocked. An invisible momentum as vast as the sea swept across the entire venue. And Ka was no longer suppressing it, but was displaying high emotions wantonly. Please give me flowers. He seemed to have transformed into a sacred and proud emperor. Exuding endless coercion, he is high up, looking down on all living beings. Having experienced the Overlord shock for the first time, Blackbeard's heart was in turmoil. This feeling. Like buzz. In a trance, a holy emperor sitting cross-legged in the bright stars appeared in front of Blackbeard. Those cold eyes that were indifferent to everything made his heart tremble. In front of that great being, he was as small as an ant. This is no longer a latitude. Before you know it, Blackbeard is soaked in sweat. I originally thought it was too unbearable that the man I had believed in for half my life, Whitebeard, would be stared at to death. But he understood it only after he personally experienced the Emperor's sense of oppression. If he were put in Whitebeard's situation, Blackbeard would be even worse than Whitebeard. The slightest thought in my mind that I would defect and escape once I got the shock fruit ability completely disappeared. Follow this man. Greater than my greatest pursuit in life. Uranus. Doflamingo, who also felt the Overlord shock for the first time, was sweating coldly. From the silhouette of Haki, he seemed to see the ancient weapon that celestial dragons had inherited for 800 years. The effect of Overlord shock varies from person to person. It will carry out a highly targeted shock blow to every soul. Brother Ming saw the secret buried deep in his heart. And Ka's outbreak conqueror's Haki brought a shock to Doflamingo no less than the death of Whitebeard. Even more shocking. Incredible. Fujitora was stunned. He has no eyes. But, he saw it. He saw it all. A figure carrying a red flag and swimming upstream. A figure full of hope and incomparable Haki. So you look like this. The flowing black hair like a waterfall, the cold and handsome appearance, and the sharp eyes that directly strike the soul. I have no regrets. Unknowingly, Fujitora's blind eyes shed 2 lines of hot tears. 73 The belated red-haired man. He is too fast. Third update. Advertise here. Fujitora can close his eyes and see what he wants to see. Only the appearance of the Emperor and Ka. All this is just like AF * King Dream. It's like a dream. Not only Fujitora is dreaming, but also Ace. Although it was not the first time for him to experience the Overlord shock, he was still extremely shocked. At 0 gear, when he faced Ka's Overlord shock, he seemed to see an eternal sun. And I am just an insignificant little flame. Weak, insignificant, trembling. Now that the 3rd gear is turned on, the flame temperature reaches 1300 degrees and sublimates into a golden flame. Still nothing changed in the result. He is still the same little flame. And Ka is still an eternal sun that suppresses the heavens. Nothing has changed. Ace thought that after his 830 strength became stronger, the distance between him and that man would be shortened. But I didn't expect it was still so out of reach. Enlightened. Ace was hit differently, his eagle eyes flashed, and he benefited a lot. The more times he sees the scene of the god's axe opening the sky, the more feelings he gets. And Ka's Overlord shock is a great opportunity for Hawkeye. The other party seems to have been secretly reminding me. Finally, Hawkeye's sword intent broke through the shackles when he once again witnessed the magnificent legendary scene of the divine axe opening the sky. The sword intent on his body rose, Black Blade Knight buzzed with excitement, the sword was jumping and cheering. Hawkeye's sharp eyes narrowed slightly, and when he opened them again, they were no longer sharp. Including the aura on his body, it is also hidden from the sharpness. It's like an extremely sharp sword hidden in the scabbard. A gentleman hides his weapon in his body, waiting for the opportunity to move. This is a more advanced realm. Back to basics. Now Hawkeye's combat power is infinitely close to that of Roger, the Pirate King. If you fight against the red-haired Shanks, you will have a steady suppression effect. My Emperor. Lao Sha saw his great-grandmother again. Pursuit. After a hearty outburst of emotion, and Ka withdrew his Overlord shock and pointed at the Whitebeard pirates. As a time traveler, cutting out the roots is engraved in our DNA. Whitebeard is already dead, there is absolutely no way he would let the Whitebeard pirates go like this. Come on. Enter. Target file. Ace was the first to recover, turned on 3rd gear again, sprayed flames and chased after him. Fujitora, Hawkeye, Blackbeard, Ming Jie, Lao Sha and others also woke up. Various attacks emerge and endlessly. One by one, the 8 immortals crossed the sea, each showing his magical powers. Except Blackbeard. My emperor. I beg my emperor to reward me with Whitebeard's body. Rubbing his hands, Blackbeard carefully knelt down and asked. After just seeing Nkaw's style, his loyalty has been maxed out at this time. Whatever you want. Nkaw naturally knew what Lao Hei was going to do. He was targeting Shock Fruit's ability. Unprecedented dual fruit ability user. After that, the old black Zetsu pair has 4 Emperor's level combat power. He now has Fujitora, Hawkeye, Enel Ace and others, and it is more than enough to suppress a Blackbeard. And with Blackbeard's urinary nature, unless he is as unenterprising as Whitebeard, this guy is still very loyal. Here comes the most crucial point. Nkaw discovered that Blackbeard actually triggered the Imperial canonization, which means that the other party's loyalty has reached the level of die-hard loyalty. If you are someone you can trust, then there is nothing to be stingy about. Thank you, Lord, for your grace. Come quickly and help. Blackbeard was overjoyed and immediately took several of his younger brothers to manipulate Whitebeard's body. Shock Fruit, it's his now. I know, boss. The 4 badgers also covered Whitebeard with a black cloth. They had just been shocked by Nkaw's overlord, and their bodies and minds were completely in Nkaw's shape. And all of them triggered the Imperial canonization. Although he is a die-hard loyalist of Blackbeard. But if Blackbeard lets them deal with Nkaw, they will definitely turn around and deal with Blackbeard. Without exception, the canonization was triggered. No matter what the purpose of these guys surrendering to me, Wang Zhenwei is the best way to conquer their hearts. Nkaw looked around the battlefield and was quite emotional. It's not just the old black guys. Doflamingo and the stealing baboons also triggered the canonization, and now the entire pirate group is die-hard. As long as you wait for an opportunity to complete the canonization, the pirate group's combat effectiveness will be able to reach a higher level. After all, after being canonized, it has the effect of increasing all attributes by 1/10. Golden Fire Dragon Roar. Ace took the lead and pursued the Whitebeard pirates fiercely. Bright golden flames rose, and a huge golden fire dragon appeared in the sky. The fire dragon opened its mouth to charge up, and spit out a flame beam that destroyed everything. Wherever the flame beam passes, it burns everything. The unlucky members of the Whitebeard pirates were liquefied the moment they were hit. Then vaporized. Damn it. His target is our pirate ship. Except for Marco, no one can resist the golden flame head-on. If the Moby Dick is hit by flames, Moby Dick will definitely be destroyed in an instant. By then their last hope will be gone. Marco gritted his teeth and turned into the form of a phoenix beast to resist the flame beam. He was shocked to find that his recovery speed could not keep up with the damage caused by the flames. This situation of not being able to make ends meet will make the situation worse and worse. His defeat was already a matter of time. Due to the delay in Whitebeard's death and Nkaw's appearance, the Whitebeard group had already run quite a distance at this time. Only the flame-spitting humanoid rocket Ace chased after him. 0.8 but an ace is quite difficult. Almost pushing the Whitebeard pirates into despair. God avoids. Just when everyone in the Whitebeard pirates was in despair, the red-haired Shanks' voice was like the sound of nature. The sword energy, which was hundreds of meters wide, was entangled with black and red thunder, and it flashed out, killing the golden fire dragon with one sword. A savior. Red-haired Shanks and his redfurs arrive. Sorry everyone, I'm late. The belated red-haired Shanks smiled apologetically. It's not that he was slow. They rushed over as soon as they got the news. The other party is really too fast. The spaceship flew from Gaia Island to Alabasta and then to New World in half a day. Then it only took half a day to defeat Whitebeard and the Whitebeard pirates. That man is so fast. 0.74 The Overlord shocks the Overlord. Shanks are stupid. First update. Advertise here. Shanks, Marco and the others breathed a sigh of relief. The nerves that had been tense finally relaxed. From the sudden attack of the Emperor pirates to now, they have been defeated one after another, and they have plummeted thousands of miles. I have completely lost my fighting spirit and faith. Shanks, who appears as the savior, is finally here. Shanks. Ace stopped and narrowed his eyes slightly. He is no longer a young boy. The stronger he is and the broader his knowledge, the more cautious he is. The observation Haki was beginning to take shape, but he couldn't predict Shanks' next move. This should be what Hawkeye said about seeing and killing. Killed by the same knowledge as my emperor. Red-haired Shanks. Although the bounty is the lowest among the 4 emperors, his strength is definitely the strongest. With Ace's current strength, if he dares to go up there, he will only be killed instantly. Young Mr. Yandy, please give me some face and stop pursuing me. Red-haired Shanks holds a griffin, and Haki reaches the sky. Everyone stand back. He's going to start showing off. The cape danced wildly, and the red-haired figure stood in front of the Whitebeard pirates, refusing to give an inch. Shanks. Everyone in the Whitebeard pirate group was moved to tears. They are now fatherless children, only Shanks. Give you face. How old do you look? Golden fire wall, blazing internet. Well, Ace is still the young boy who does whatever he doesn't want. He waved his arms and used the Mera Mera fruit ability, and endless golden flames ignited on the sea. A wall of fire rose up and extended behind the Whitebeard pirates, intercepting everyone. If you just let the other person go, how can he explain to his emperor? Redhead Shanks. I didn't expect to meet another 4 emperors. Fujitora arrived, floating on the stone slabs. After personally experiencing another Kenwensha owner, Fujitora noticed something was wrong. That is, the red-haired Shanks's knowledge killing cannot isolate his own aura, but is only used to restrain himself from foreseeing the future. Make it impossible for others to observe your next move by foreseeing the future. Strangeness. The real killing on site does not seem to be that exaggerated. So what is the situation with Nka? Fujitora was puzzled by this and first eliminated the correct answer: conquerors. Shanks, are you going to save those poor souls? Spider-Man Doflamingo arrives on the line. Ace, Fujitora, Mingay, these three guys with the ability to fly are the fastest to catch up with the Whitebeard pirates. With Mr. Nka sitting in the back and Ace Fujitora in the front, Brother Ming is not a coward at all. He was once afraid of the four emperors, but after witnessing Whitebeard's death. What bullshit, four emperors? Brother Ming doesn't take them seriously. These guys are not even worthy of licking Nka's shoes. Especially Shanks. A guy with the same origin as him, but a completely different destiny. The other party's father is the leader of the Knights of God, but his own father is just a naive fool. The other party is also full of face among the five elders, but I can only love the other party with a secret. The gap between the two is the same as that of a condor and a mouse. This makes Brother Ming crazy with jealousy. Now Brother Ming finally found out where he is better than Shanks, that is, he followed the right person. Emperor Nka. When one person attains enlightenment, chickens and dogs ascend to heaven. My emperor has arrived, with Bartolomeo's arrogant voice echoing throughout the world. The spacecraft carrying Nka Hawkeye and his party slowly arrived. Laosha, who was seriously injured by Whitebeard, stayed to look after Blackbeard on the island. Others quickly repaired themselves and caught up in a spaceship. Shanks. Nka felt extremely ked up. Why is this shit-stirring thing here? It seems that today's plan to wipe out the Whitebeard pirates may not work. The combat power of the red hair pirates is more than 1.5 points higher than that of the Whitebeard pirates. The toughest among the toughest. Yes, I just want to save them. Give me some face. End this fight. If anyone wants to fight, come on, we will accompany you. Please give me flowers. The red-haired Shanks' tone was undeniably domineering. Beckman, Usopp, Lackey Road. One by one, red-hair pirates officers appeared behind Shanks and posed. Another famous scene. This is a scene engraved in Hamy's mind. Seeing this scene with his own eyes, Nka could no longer control his mood. Pride and ambition rise in my heart, and my invisible momentum suddenly bursts out. Overlord, shock, buzz, no warning. The almost intense coercion spread from Nka to the surroundings, descending brazenly. The air seems to be frozen. Everyone present was frozen in place as if a body-holding spell had been cast on them. Point 0. Staring blankly at the Emperor with Haki soaring to the sky. What an amazing momentum. Not to mention Ming Jie, Fujitora Ace, Hawkeye and others. The red hair pirates and the Whitebeard pirates, who had experienced Nka's brilliant move for the first time, were already in a state of shock. This is. The people at Shanks were immediately dumbfounded. He only felt a blur of flowers in front of his eyes, the sky and the earth were spinning, and the ancient world appeared. The giant opened the sky with his divine axe, stood on the ground and died, and then transformed into the world. Xingluan Fire Phoenix soars in the sky. The divine dragon Kunpeng swims proudly in the water. Unicorn beasts running on the land. The wild beasts with unfathomable auras are either fighting, communicating, or looking for food. The scene was extremely shocking. Compared to them, even the elephant master was so awesome. And he, Shanks, is the ant among ants. So small that it couldn't be any smaller. The whole world slowly dissipated, epitomized by that man, the Emperor Nka. He is the epitome of that prehistoric world. What an amazing momentum. Shanks' mouth opened slightly and he couldn't recover for a long time. Originally, he had thousands of things to ask Hawkeye. Why would that proud swordsman surrender to others? Now Shanks understands. Everything is understood. Emperor Nka, he is a true legend. The strongest in 800 years. Unprecedented. To follow such a man is to participate in history personally. 75 Imperial engine. Sound the war horn. Second update. Advertise here. If it were in the past, Shanks would definitely break out Conqueror's Haki and counter the opponent's Conquerors. But now, in front of Nka's overwhelming power, his Conqueror's Haki is so ridiculous. By default, Conqueror's Thunder is the strongest and can cause substantial damage. Compared with that man, he is as small as dust. Such a huge gap in strength. He couldn't even think of a single thought to compete with it. He was defeated, completely defeated. A few drops of cold sweat broke out suddenly on Shanks' forehead. He faced Whitebeard Kaido calmly, but he was actually scared because of Nka. Shanks, cheer up. Beckman roared angrily. He was also shocked by the Overlord. But Beckman, who was sweating profusely, noticed Shanks' abnormality immediately and warned him. He will always be Shanks' most reliable lieutenant. Cheer up. Hearing Beckman's voice, Shanks suddenly woke up. What's wrong with you? He actually feels intimidated by the opponent's momentum. You won't know until you fight once if you can survive it. Behind him is his partner, the person he wants to protect. I can't fall down here. Shanks' eyes became firm again, and his pride soared to the sky. Griffin no longer hesitated in his hand and pointed directly at the man, Emperor and Ka. Come on, let's have a fight. Shanks looks very free and easy, but he is actually a very moral person. There is nothing he can't get. He can allow unknown people who don't know his name to spit on him and provoke him. But guys who know his name will never be allowed to disrespect him. The arrogance in his heart would not allow him to bow his head. You actually have the courage to draw your sword to my emperor. Doflamingo looked at Shanks blankly. At this moment, he finally understood the gap between himself and Shanks. Facing Ka, his legs were trembling and he didn't dare to make eye contact or show any hostility. But Shanks was able to draw his sword and glare with anger. His courage alone far surpassed his own. Heaven and earth became silent. This moment, Shanks, who drew his sword and glared at the emperor, became the protagonist. After all, it takes a lot of courage for an ant to swing its sword at an elephant. This scene shocked everyone. As expected of the red-haired Shanks, he actually dared to draw his sword at the emperor. You must know that the current Ka is infinitely close to the gods in the state of overlord shock. While Ka is calm on the surface, he is already anxious in his heart. Just because his only means of attack, the Imperial Edict, has failed. Open black lens bracket Emperor's Order, close black lens bracket. Derivative skills. Open black lens bracket Emperor's Order execution close black lens bracket. The aura turns into an arrow in the back to hurt people, and can only be used against targets who respect the host. Open black lens bracket Emperor's Order behead close black lens bracket. The aura turns into a sword and hurts people. It can only be used against targets that are hostile to the host. Open black lens bracket Emperor's Order kill close black lens bracket. The momentum turns into a sword shadow to hurt people. It only activates the target that is afraid of the host. In other words, Shanks neither respects Ka nor is he hostile to Ka, nor is he afraid of Ka. What he wants to do is just stop Enka and rescue the Whitebeard pirates. Ka's 3 derivative skills of Emperor's Order are all invalid. Today, Ka has finally learned what it means to be a top-notch person who combines mind, body, and skills. I also understand why Shanks can become Luffy's guide on the pirate journey. With this mentality alone, no one in the pirate world can compare with him. Boom, boom, boom. The thunderous drum sound sounded, deafening. Nothing to rely on. The long-lost tension made Ka's heart beat uncontrollably. He seemed to have returned to the scene when he faced Crick. Strong on the outside but strong on the inside. How to do. If we get into a fight, I'm afraid the secret will be exposed directly. Ka is not worried about his life safety. After all, he still has the Emperor's command, Bodor and Conqueror's Haki. But if his true strength is exposed, don't mention anything else. My own subordinates will all tear me apart. But the battlefield was eerily quiet for a moment. What happened next was beyond Ka's knowledge. It's the Imperial engine. This sound means that our Emperor has entered a state of battle. I haven't heard this voice for a long time. My Emperor has been lonely for a long time because he couldn't find an opponent. As expected of the red-haired Shanks, he actually made the work list more serious. Due to the excessive excitement, Bartolomeo turned into a train, his face turned red and steam was rising from his head. He is indeed the best little brother and the king of support. And the Imperial engine also sounded the horn of attack. The Emperor pirates are on fire. Because Ka has been at ease for too long, the Emperor's engine has not been started for too long. But it was made up by everyone. Ka has been invincible for too long and feels lonely because he cannot find an opponent. When I met Shanks, I finally met my opponent. No, I finally had some interest. It's the Imperial engine. Shanks, you'd better pray you see the sun tomorrow. Ace smiled slightly and cancelled the third gear state. He thinks he is no match for Shanks, but by delaying the arrival of our Emperor and Ka, his mission will be completed. The Emperor was so angry that he laid down millions of corpses. Faced with Ka turning on the Emperor's engine, the probability of Shanks surviving is extremely slim. The legendary Imperial engine. This feeling of oppression. Doflamingo's legs were weak, and he now felt a sense of admiration for Shanks. How much determination and courage it takes to face the Emperor and Ka 2.9. Shanks is actually able to keep his face straight, and is worthy of being the strongest Conqueror's Haki owner by default. Imperial engine. I heard it. It's really impressive. Fujitora pricked up his ears and listened carefully. To him, the thunderous drum sound was so sweet, like the sound of nature. The center of the battlefield. Facing the Emperor and Ka, the oppression Shanks endured is unimaginable. That gaze that pierces the soul, that thunderous Imperial engine, that indifferent and cold face. That oppressive feeling that makes your hands and feet feel cold and your soul trembles. Shanks was on pins and needles, he was just trying to hold on. No, I have to do something to save Shanks. If this continues, he will definitely die. Hawkeye can't sit still.